announced this morning he will not sign the bipartisan housing affordability bill in protest over his voter ID law not being taken up by Congress. The bill was a rare piece of legislation that both Republicans and Democrats strongly supported. By not signing it, the bill becomes law unless the president vetoes it. Cases of that parasite making life difficult for people have been found in 18 states now.
There's no medication to prevent the illness caused by cyclosporiasis, and treatment once you're infected is aimed at managing the severe stomach bug symptoms. The outbreak has at least one fast food chain, Taco Bell, pulling tomatoes, lettuce, cilantro, and raw onions from its menu in hard-hit Michigan.
Flash flooding in the Midwest has led to life-threatening conditions, especially in the state of Missouri, where there have been water rescues in the central part of the state. Extreme heat warnings for much of the country this weekend. In Spain, the heat wave triggering wildfires that have so far claimed a dozen lives. This is ABC News. New information on the death of an undocumented man in Houston, Texas, and calls for an independent investigation. ABC's Jay O'Brien with more.
The Department of Homeland Security admitting the man shot and killed by ICE in Houston Tuesday was not the intended target of their investigation. In a statement, a DHS official now saying 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, a husband and father of three, was stopped by ICE because he resembled the target of an investigation, causing officers to stop his van. Salgado Araujo was then shot in the abdomen by an ICE officer. The agency claiming the officer acted in self-defense, alleging Salgado Araujo wasn't following command.
ABC's Jay O'Brien. The European Union says Meta is breaching its social media laws by designing Facebook and Instagram to be addictive. They are demanding the company disable features that can keep people on the apps for hours, including its infinite scrolling capabilities. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Someone is blowing up porta potties in Bothell. We'll explain that crazy story in just a moment. But first, we've got Ted Beener with your traffic.
All right, thank you. The earlier crash on southbound 405 in Totem Lake, it is gone, and the backup to near Canyon Park is recovering. Your Everett to Bellevue drive times, it's improved a bit to 43 minutes, just about a 5-minute delay. There are a few slowdowns in the usual spots, and that includes northbound 405. That's got occasional slowing from the Renton curves all the way to past I-90. Drive times, Everett to Seattle is 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is 34 minutes. 23 of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton, that is 33 minutes. And Renton to Bellevue, that is 38 minutes. A couple of I-5 closures this weekend to highlight. Northbound I-5 will close starting at 9 p.m. from I-90 to 45th in the U District as Revive I-5 starts again for that Ship Canal Bridge resurfacing project. Early Monday, only the left 2 lanes will be open across the bridge, and the express lanes will run only northbound. Now, in Fife, an overnight closure is set for Saturday night as a new Port Tacoma Road overpass is installed. Detours will be in place. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. We're following a frightening midair emergency over Greece after a passenger window on board a Boeing 737 shattered shortly after takeoff. One passenger was almost sucked out of the window, but luckily they had their seatbelt fastened. Witnesses describe hearing a loud boom. Greek media is reporting a piece of one of the engines broke and hit the window, causing rapid decompression. The pilots were able to land safely. We do not know what caused this or what and who was responsible yet. But again, this was a Washington-made Boeing 737, which raises more safety questions for the company, which is one of our state's largest employers. And it comes on the heels of 2 fatal 737 MAX crashes and a door plug blowout on a flight 2 years ago. Someone is blowing up porta potties in Bothell.
I'm Jason Sloss. Pieces of porta potty all over this park in Bothell. We're told vandals used a mortar to blow this thing up late last night. And we're told that this was done just hours after it was replaced following another explosion back on the night of the 4th. So we're talking with some ticked off neighbors.
Those neighbors tell KIRO 7 TV this has been a problem for years. They think teenagers are doing it, but so far no arrests have been made. It's back starting tonight. Revive I-5 across the Ship Canal Bridge in Seattle. Here's KIRO News Radio's Nate Connors.
All northbound lanes were going to close from I-90 up to 45th while WashDOT crews prep the bridge for work that'll start on Monday when they reopen the bridge to the public. Now, This time, the 2 right lanes are going to be blocked as opposed to the 2 left lanes. What that means is the Roanoke on-ramp is not going to be accessible during the duration of this project, which is through the end of the year.
You can read more about it at mynorthwest.com. And second-year Seattle Storm center Dominique Malonga is a first-time WNBA All-Star after being announced as a reserve this week. She was the second overall draft pick in 2025 and the youngest player in WNBA history to score 30 points in a game. The All-Star game is July 25th in Chicago. Now for your weather, we're going to have a mild day, 74 degrees. Morning clouds give way to afternoon sun. Mostly cloudy on Saturday with a high of 71. It's 63 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
That's what we call a pregnant pause.
I was like, what button did I push?
Happy Fresh Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. We're playing a bit of musical chairs. Gee is out today. I'm back in, and Angela Poe Russell joins us.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's going to be a great show. Coming up at 9:30. Question. With all the wealthy people and the huge mansions in Clyde Hill, how on earth is that city about to go broke? It turns out it's not just a Clyde Hill problem, so we're going to talk about that. We'll go in depth on that coming up at 9:30. As always, we will have scenarios coming up at 10:47. We'll also have Flex Fridays. And Angela, you said that you have an update.
I have an update that I'm hoping is a good sign. I'd love to share it with everybody.
Yes.
and maybe get their experience about it.
Yes,
So.
absolutely. So we'll still do Flex Friday coming up at 9:47. But right now, let's get to it. Our top stories brought to you by Pendergast Law. More than 3 years after one of Seattle's most devastating shootings, the husband of Aina Kwan is now suing the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. Now, you might recall she was 32 weeks pregnant when she and her unborn daughter, Evelyn, were killed after a gunman opened fire on their car. This was in Belltown in June of 2023. Sung Kwan survived after being shot in the arm. A police body camera captured the suspect, Cordell Gooseby, moments after the shooting.
My partner read you your Miranda rights, right? Did you want to talk to us?
Pretty much all I need to say is my life has been unfair.
So he says, my life has been unfair. He was later found not guilty by reason of insanity. He was committed to Western State Hospital, which was, again, devastating for the family. Now, this lawsuit claims that the Regional Homelessness Authority had so many warnings that Gooseby's mental health was rapidly declining while he was in the housing and case management program, but the agency failed to act, allegedly. The family's attorney says this tragedy should never have happened.
There was a pretty clear systemic failure here, and this tragedy was completely preventable if people had done their jobs.
And Angela, the lawsuit goes into how he repeatedly told caseworkers that he was hearing voices, he was becoming paranoid, he was getting into fights with strangers, talking about shooting people, and even warned staff the day before the killings that he needed to leave Seattle before he actually hurt somebody. And despite all those warnings, the lawsuit says the agency never contacted police. The Homelessness Authority says they cannot comment on pending litigation. Again, so they can't get into the specifics of this.
Yeah, this is what happens when we bury our heads in the sand. And it's not just this situation. It's so many others we can point to. I remember going back to when this case initially went through the criminal justice system. And I remember feeling so devastated for the family again to find out that he was not guilty by reason of insanity. Because I kind of saw it as, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And then when I look at some of the stuff that's laid out in this lawsuit, I don't know that they had a choice because there was overwhelming evidence his mental health had significantly declined. And not only were these, you mentioned the different things that were reported, like the hearing voices and hallucinations. He was asking for help.
Yeah, begging.
He was going to them saying, hey, like that day before The quote was, he needed to leave Seattle fast before he hurt someone, and he alternated between crying and rage, so he felt like he was going to hurt someone. And according to the lawsuit, that the person, I guess the staff member, contacted someone in their office, and the person said, okay, well, I'll get to it Wednesday. This was Monday. So, I mean, he had been asking for help, it sounds like, according to the lawsuit, for a number of years, and specifically worried about, I might shoot someone. Said it. I don't know how clear, and it goes back to me, to this idea of like what could go wrong. So I'm switching gears to kind of point out what happens when we let things fester.
Yes.
So when we decide, you know what, we're just going to let people congregate on the street and just do drugs, like what could go wrong? Like I can tell you and show you 10 things that could go wrong. And I'm just frustrated with us not being able to take the common sense things that keep everybody safe.
Agree. And what's going to happen in this case, I can almost guarantee that it's going to be a guaranteed payout, as it should, because this, I would agree, given what has been laid out, again, in this lawsuit, and also what we now know about this particular agency that has been under all sorts of scrutiny. And it just recently, for different reasons, had controls taken away by Seattle and King County because of mismanagement. It's just an abject failure. And because of poor leadership and not having things in place, it's cost a family, their loved ones, and it's going to cost taxpayers millions and millions of dollars.
Yes.
And it is truly tragic. Well, to follow that, now we're finding out that King County is going to be creating a fraud watchdog after a string of scandals exposed major failures and how billions of taxpayer dollars are monitored. So this story from the Seattle Times, the county council has unanimously approved a new inspector general's office with subpoena power and a public hotline to investigate fraud, waste, and abuse. And of course, this is happening now because the problems have become too big to ignore. The Seattle Times uncovered years of weak oversight inside the Department of Community and Human Services. This is separate from King County Regional Homelessness Authority. This is within county government, within that department, where these audits found improper payments, potential fraud, and basically not enough controls. Internal controls failed to keep pace as billions of dollars were flowing through the department. There was one investigation that found a county manager approved more than $800,000 in grant payments to 5 family members without anyone catching it for years. So now that the Seattle Times looked into it, the county ombuds also referred possible fraud of public funds for law enforcement. And supporters will say, when you're managing a $20 billion county budget, someone needs the authority to follow the money before problems become scandals.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I first saw the story, I was a little skeptical because you think about adding more. It's like, okay, we uncovered fraud and waste, abuse, and now we're going to just, hire more people. And you think about bureaucracy and what is this? Is this just optics? And so when I looked at the budget, though, and compared it to other cities, because I was like, is this a common thing? And apparently it's not a common thing for counties to have inspector general's offices, but some do, some large ones, like Miami, for example, and they have a similar size to us, believe it or not, that county. I want to say they're at 2.8. I think we're pretty close. Yeah. But $20 billion, when you think about it, you're going to have, with that many people, you're going to have situations. And so I think in this case, it's a wise move as long as there is accountability and a report of what is happening, what the process is, what the results are, what the impact is. I just don't want it to be like adding more positions, adding more
another layer of bureaucracy.
Yes. That's what I'm getting at. But it sounds like if it saves us money in the long run and prevents the fraud and abuse, then I think it's a good use of taxpayer dollars.
Absolutely. And my immediate reaction was, why isn't this already in place?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess hindsight is 20/20, but when you're talking about, like you said, $20 billion, it makes sense that you would have someone, I mean, we are all held accountable, right? for our money and what we do with our money, it would make sense when you're talking about that amount. So might be a little too late for this situation, but it'll prevent something hopefully in the future.
Yeah, I feel so often on this show we do a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking, but it's
I know.
But I mean, here's the bottom line is that's how we learn
Yes.
is when we're able to go back and assess and see the things that went wrong so
Yes.
that we can do better.
Exactly. So I think this is a move in the right direction. Yeesh. It was a rough day. If you were a light rail passenger yesterday, it was rough for a lot of folks around North Seattle. There was one broken overhead wire, crippled a major stretch of Sound Transit system for most of yesterday. This failure began around 7 in the morning, just before 7 in the morning. A power wire collapsed onto a northbound train just short of the University of Washington station. So they had almost 50 passengers who had to be evacuated. But this disruption stretched well into the afternoon commute. My husband came home, told me about it because he takes light rail and the bus, and there were 5 stations that were affected. Metro brought in shuttle buses, while some east side trains were turned around at Judkins Park because there was just no room for them downtown. But again, Sound Transit says, we think this problem is tied to one of our older rail cars, and so now we're going to inspect all of them before returning to service. And they say this was not a system-wide failure, but for those who were stuck yesterday, I mean, I was telling you that this was the #1 story in the Times for local stories, and I was reading some of the comments of people just saying what a mess it was, the lack of communication. I asked my husband, like, hey, what kind of communication did you get? I mean, thank God this wasn't last week.
Oh, yeah. So let me ask you this. So he was caught up in this.
Yes.
How delayed was he? Like, how quickly did they get the buses over to get them where they needed to go?
So he said because he has signed up for alerts. So if you are a light rail rider and you don't sign up for alerts, you should. Mm-hmm. Because he said he was able to get some information through his phone. Mm-hmm. And so he was able to avoid some. But he was basically an hour late.
Okay.
There were some other people who were waiting hours.
Oh.
And one of the things that he was telling me is when they have the communication, or so let's say the driver is trying to communicate, there's a problem. He said he couldn't hear any of it because there's fans blowing, there's a lot of people in the train, so no one knows what's happening, and they're starting to panic.
Wonk, wonk, and I have no idea what was just said.
Yeah, but so folks were saying communication was a mess. People were left without answers. The shuttle plan was unclear, apparently. But again, I mean, this is.
We're how many days off the World Cup ending? How long has it been?
And what was your husband's comment about the
World
World Cup's
talking
over?
About the movie Wicked, and he said there. I can't even remember the scene, and he's seen the movie once, and he remembers a scene. I think this is the new Wicked, the newer one,
yes.
right? And he said it's gonna be like in that scene where all the animals leave and darkness falls over the earth, and he said so all the World Cup people leave and all of a sudden the darkness comes in. But I almost feel like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you have to hold it together, and then when you don't have to hold it together, you just kind of And I think the hope was that we really presented so well. I mean, we ran like a watch, we ran a tight ship here during that time.
Well, and it's just signs that it can happen. I mean, something like this, can you avoid it? I don't know, because you're dealing with equipment but some people were bringing up reliability for a system that is so expensive. If one little thing goes down and it affects so many people, there needs to be better communication. There needs to be a better system to make up for those who now have to take the bus, right? I mean, and one of the things that my husband was saying is that a lot of those buses were not available. So I would love to hear if anyone was caught up in this. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Before you move on to the other story, I'd also love to hear from people who maybe moved here from other cities. I don't know, like a D.C. or New York, and how our system compares in terms of reliability from your experience. I would love, because my perception of places like New York is that, I mean, that city runs like it. Yes. People take trains, and what
They've
happens.
had
when
it for a
things-
much longer time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm curious too, like when you hear of a problem involving sound transit, are you more apt to just say, well, this is a Dow Constantine problem, and this is all the bloat and all the delays and the issues. You can't even get the escalators going. Do we have kind of a built-in bias against sound transit? And maybe for good reason.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about that because
I mean, for me personally, I because I don't use it as often, I feel like I can't wait and have an opinion. But it does seem like if someone or an entity gets a reputation, it can be really hard to shake.
I think
that's
so.
why I would love to hear from other people who have experienced systems in other cities, because this just could be normal. This could be what it's like. I'm not sure.
Yeah, when you have an $80 billion system that can be entirely disabled, one single point of failure where someone with a pair of bolt cutters can snip a wire and shut the whole thing down, that seems to be a problem.
It absolutely is. And then the lack of communication or the faulty communication, I think, is also a problem. So hopefully they work out the kinks, because it sounds like it was a mess yesterday. Thousands of people detained at Tacoma's Immigration Detention Center have complained about mold, unsafe water, filthy laundry, lack of medical care, even worms and junk in their food. And now Washington health inspectors will finally be allowed inside. And this is because, Angela, a federal judge ruled yesterday that the State Department of Health can inspect most of this privately operated facility, including through unannounced visits. And if you haven't been following this, the GEO group has blocked inspections since Washington passed new health and safety standards in 2023. The company is arguing that ICE controls access to the building. So the Seattle Times is reporting that the ruling takes effect in 14 days, giving GEO time to appeal.
So despite defying state law, they're still allowed to be a federal contractor. No one at the federal level is saying, Geo, we've had a ton of complaints about you. We should cancel you as a contractor. We're not doing that.
I have not heard that.
Okay, no, I'm being, I'm kind
facetious,
of, yes, I am. I mean, 3,500 complaints from detained people, 3,500, and those are the people who complained. So imagine the ones that didn't complain or don't have a voice, still in there. The people we hear from are those who have advocates on the outside.
Right.
I mean, do we have the sound from that? There's a man who is a veteran, and he was able to contact a veterans group. King 5 did the story. I'll let you.
Yeah, so there was one reported sexual assault that occurred in January.
Okay, when did the assault take place?
He's saying it's a sexual assault.
Yeah, that was one alleged sexual assault. It's part of a lawsuit. 3 black men in that suit. One of the other men accuses the guards of brutally beating him, slamming his face into the concrete, restraining him, and placing him in solitary confinement. Another man from Nigeria said that he was beaten so severely he had to be removed on a stretcher. That lawsuit says one of the guards who was involved in the assault had a Proud Boy sticker on his coffee mug, and then a sexual assault reported last week. A 44-year-old Army veteran from Spokane, Garnett Smith. He's been at the Tacoma facility for about 9 months. He says a GEO guard aggressively grabbed his genitals.
Wow. I mean, that's just...
And he's served our country for many years. And whatever they put him in there for was from a decades old, like
no contact.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, I'm going to boil it down to this is why I think prisons should not be privately run. I think it just absolutely goes because these conditions that we're talking about. I mean, you're looking at a for-profit company that is going to do everything it can to make maximum profits at the expense. And let's face it, as a society, do we actually care what goes on inside prisons? Is something that we've talked about.
And we should. I think the punishment is the
I
prison
agree, though.
sentence. And when we allow abuse and when we allow abuse and violence to fester for anybody, we're all unsafe. It's not good for any of us. And I think you need better systems so that people can report these things and folks can be held accountable.
Yes.
But the fact that this company has defied the law for the last 3 years is absolutely unacceptable.
Unacceptable. And bottom line, you don't have to agree with someone's immigration status to believe that they deserve clean water, medical care, and basic human dignity. And I think that we have to just keep reminding ourselves of that, too. Okay, still ahead, we are going to talk about how on earth is Clyde Hill going broke? And is this a problem that many, many other cities are facing? We'll have more of that on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
I have two big gripes from my coworkers who I thought were friends, but I'm realizing are just a bunch of jerks. I had about 10 conversations with massive amounts of green salad stuff.
Oh, no, nobody told you?
In my teeth. I'm a common man. I like having conversations.
Yeah, and didn't bother to tell
Why
you.
didn't they just say something? I wouldn't take it as an insult.
Jake and Spike, noon to 3 on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Wow, Sarah, these window coverings are gorgeous. Did you guys do this yourself?
No way. It's all Hunter Douglas. My local expert came to our home, brought samples, and helped us see everything in our actual light, then measured perfectly and handled the installation.
If you're planning a remodel, moving into a new home, or simply ready to elevate how your space feels, Westco Blinds, your neighborhood Hunter Douglas expert, offers custom, beautifully crafted window treatments thoughtfully designed for life. Whether it's blinds, shades, shutters, or drapes, our products fit your windows perfectly. And with smart home options, you control the light and privacy with a tap or on schedule. Hunter Douglas window treatments are an investment in quality, backed by a lifetime limited warranty and ongoing support from your trusted local expert, Westco Blinds. Call now to schedule your free in-home design consultation. Call 206-285-5455, 206-285-5455, 206-285-5455.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. Get a free oil filter and more during the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone, now through July 27th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Carter
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. President Donald Trump has removed the 3 remaining members of a bipartisan federal commission that tests and certifies voting machines. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington, D.C.
Stood up to help states update their voting systems after the 2000 Florida recount. The Election Assistance Commission certifies equipment and offers guidance to state officials. It's meant to be bipartisan. An aide says the president has the right to remove officials who, quote, may not be totally aligned with the important task of securing America's elections and ensuring every legal vote is counted. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer calls the firings a brazen attempt to seize control of elections months before the midterms.
Elected leaders in Washington are pushing back against federal accusations of voter fraud. Here's Attorney General Nick Brown.
When you see these bogus claims, think about it. Ask for evidence. Ask hard questions. Don't just accept it.
Just this week, the Department of Justice sent a letter to Washington's Secretary of State threatening criminal prosecution if non-citizens are allowed to vote and gave 5 days to fix the problem. Elected officials here say there is no problem. 8 men, including one from Washington, were indicted on federal conspiracy charges Thursday for their alleged roles in a thwarted drone and sniper attack on last month's UFC cage fighting match at the White House.
According to the new indictment, the plot began in May when the group started amassing money, firearms, ammunition, body armor, explosives, drones, medical equipment, and communications equipment. On June 10th, law enforcement learned about a possible threat to President Trump's UFC cage fighting show just 4 days before it was scheduled to happen. The Washington man indicted is 21-year-old William Faulkner, a.k.a. Pepsi. He's from Belfair. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
There's been major flash flooding and severe weather back east that led to rescues and canceled flights and delays. We're also looking at potential extreme fire weather warnings for this weekend. A fast-moving fire swept through Okanagan in eastern Washington this week and destroyed at least a few homes. The Douglas County fire killed one person. Officials there are now offering a $25,000 reward for information about how and who started that fire. We are going to check your KIRO News Radio traffic now, and we have had a pretty mild Friday. We are looking at pretty average travel times across the region, getting in and out of downtown Seattle. You're going to see some slowing starting from the West Seattle Bridge, but it's mostly yellow. It's mostly yellow with green on your lake bridges and in the South and North Sound. A little bit of tightening up through the Renton S-curves, but I don't see anything blocking. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio. We're going to have afternoon sun after some morning clouds, 74 degrees. Lows in your mid-50s, mostly cloudy tomorrow, to high of 71. It's 63 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And coming up at 9:47, we're going to do an Ask Ursula, and it has to do with social media and what you should do if you notice that people are Everyone is commenting, but one particular person in your life is not commenting on any of your posts. Should you take that personally? Okay.
This is a thing. It sounds petty, but it's a thing.
Exactly. Woo. But right now, let's talk about what is happening on Clyde Hill.
Yeah. You know something seriously wrong when one of the wealthiest cities around here is struggling to stay operational? So Danny Westneat of the Seattle Times highlighted the plight of Clyde Hill on the east side, where the average home, by the way, is worth around $4 million, and the average lot 20,000 square feet.
Wow.
I know. The Urbanist first reported that the city is facing financial distress, with expenses outpacing revenue. According to members of a citizens commission that reviewed the budget, there isn't much left to cut. Like, there wasn't a lot of fat, they found. Several people familiar with the situation say the root cause of this is a Washington state law that limits annual increases in a city's regular property tax levy to 1% each year. Clyde Hill officials say rising labor costs, inflation have far outpaced that limit. The main way around it is for voters to approve what's known as a levy lid lift, but raise the levy, increase that beyond the 1%. That's one of the options on the table. You may remember last year, Edmonds asked voters to approve this very thing so they can collect more to help preserve city services. Voters rejected it, forcing the city to make even more cuts. So this isn't just a Clyde Hill problem. Thurston County, Yarrow Point, some others in the area.
Well, Seattle, but Seattle's gone around
it
by...
with this jump payroll tax they implemented. Yes. Right. So basically, at the end of the day, we all know. We don't have to be a rocket scientist to look at if things are expensive for us as consumers, cities, counties, they're having to deal with the same things, right? Rising labor costs, health insurance costs. If you have, of course, staff, health insurance is costing more for everyone. And if your main revenue source happens to be property taxes and you can only raise it, I want to say I read in that same article that, let's say if you have a budget of, what did they say? It was 1 million. I don't want to lie on the air, but 1% for them would be nothing. I mean, it wouldn't cover anything.
For Clyde Hill, what they're talking about is, I think it was 13,800.
That was
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
correct.
it was under 14,000.
That's not going to do anything.
That's not even going to cover increases in the police budget. Police salaries, for example. So they're saying, like, we're literally between a rock and a hard place. What do you do? And, this is something that was not just approved, but also doubled down in the legislature.
Yeah. So here's the question. Should the state legislature change the law and give cities more flexibility? And I don't know if you want to go first or I can weigh in for. Well,
I'm just having a bit of a.
Okay, well,
here.
you clear that. Let me. Yes. So, because that's my question to all of you. Feel free to text in 888-973-5476. Should the state change the law, give cities more flexibility? Listen, I am not one for saying yes, more taxes. In this case, though, I do want cities to have flexibility, but I don't want to change it from what's there. I think they should go to the voters in their community and let them sign off on it. Edmonds voters made a choice. Clyde Hill can make the same choice.
And face the consequences. If you have to cut services, then, I agree with you.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, because I think people are feeling so squeezed. So again, revisit the 1% cap, but the problem is,
and this is 1% per year.
Per year,
which is,
exactly.
Again,
Which is unrealistic because inflation is growing faster. But I think the message in this, in all of this, is homeowners in particular, but people are just feeling taxed out.
Yes.
And so the idea is just simply allowing the cities to collect more taxes is not a solution because that's just handing the bill to homeowners who are already feeling squeezed. But it doesn't mean if you limit overall levies that a government can collect to 1%, it does not mean your individual property tax bill can only rise by 1%. So that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Take it to
the voters.
Take it to the voters.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And give us some say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel bad for Edmonds because Edmonds has had to make some significant cuts. I don't think voters there hated the idea. I don't think they were wanting to cut some of those things.
Well,
but I think between
Chef lives in Edmonds.
Well, let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
My perception of it is, to Ursula's point, we had the state hit us up We had King County hit us up, and by the time Edmonds came with the hands out, it was like enough already. But what you're there.
Yeah, well, that's the perception, right, is that I am being taxed to death, I'm being taxed to death. And the entire frame of the debate in Edmonds was, we're going to tax senior citizens out of their homes. And so everyone said no to it, even though an increase would have been like, an additional $50 a year for the average resident. That's not kicking anyone out of their home. Like, just to give you an example, the city has a $10 million budget. The only increase that they can get in city budget for taxes is $100,000. Are you telling me that an entire city, their expenses for 1 year have only gone up $100,000? Like, it is completely unfeasible. And so cities are at the whim of the mood of voters on whether or not we're going to pay for basic services.
Okay, so your point is you might support the legislature giving city officials more flexibility without the vote because...
At minimum, it should be indexed to inflation. At minimum. But when can anyone remember inflation being at 1%?
Never.
Never.
Yeah,
actually,
or very rarely.
I actually think that's a brilliant idea to at least tie it to inflation, because I guess the point you're making is that some folks who are kind of misinformed made a decision that impacted basic city services.
Yeah, I mean, people vote on their feelings. They don't necessarily vote on facts. And if you're feeling tapped out on taxes, whether that's legitimate or not, and for some people it is, you're just going to be a no matter what. And the reality is each city, each county is going backwards on what they're able to collect by, 4 to 6% every single year. And that's happened since the initiative passed.
Ursula,
initiative passed and doubled down by the legislature.
Well, it was struck down by the courts, and then the legislature enshrined it.
Right. Yeah. So, again, the idea would be give the cities some carefully limited flexibility, tie it to spending reviews. I'm all about the spending reviews and the audits.
Well, the thing is,
public transparency.
Every city who's gone through this, because they all have, has said, look, we've looked for the fat. There's nothing to cut. I remember talking to a city council member.
Do you believe that?
I do, actually. I do.
Well,
Clyde Hill said that. They said, we've been through this.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The council member I talked to, he's a neighbor, lives down the street. He's like, I'm out. Like, I'm not doing politics anymore in Edmonds because we can't pay for things. And people are asking me, like, what's wrong? How can we have so much money, but we're broke?
Well, I think that then you also have to have more public transparency. And I think maybe...
I don't think voters understood what they were signing on to back in 20 whenever.
And it's not like they're getting massive media coverage, right, of all of this. So the city has to do probably a great job of outreach, social media, going door to door. And I don't know if they have the resources for that.
And you gain the public's trust by earning the public's trust. And when you have stories like the ones we've had recently with King County, you bet it's going to be a lot harder for people to vote and approve new taxes.
In all fairness, though, King County, that's $20 billion. We're talking about the city of Edmonds, though, right?
No, but I'm just saying the general sentiment's like, what are you doing with our tax dollars? I get that sentiment.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was an automatic yes. Now I'm a little more leery. I'll be honest. Okay, still ahead. Ask Ursula. You guys get a chance to weigh in on a question that I answered for a listener and has to do with social media.
I'm so excited.
More of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
KIRO Newsradio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
A political shakeup for Democrats that represent Seattle.
Traffic.
Right now, Auburn to Renton at 25 minutes. That's a good 10-minute delay.
Conversation.
3 people on the floor can't cover 20 aisles of plexiglass. They're doing their best. It just doesn't work.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
And the party begins.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know the key to a long-lasting roof is yearly maintenance. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? You can trust Guardian's licensed, insured, and expertly trained team. We offer free estimates, second opinions, and financing, giving you the peace of mind your home deserves. Call today. Our first-time customers can save $99 on our award-winning roof repair and cleaning service. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The Black Crowes, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Washington drivers share the road with thousands of semi-trucks, but new reporting and federal investigations have unveiled that as many as 1 in 5 of those trucks are operated by chameleon carriers, trucking companies that rack up crashes and safety violations only to close and reopen under a new name with a clean record. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, time may be running out to recover. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Summer is in full swing at T-Mobile Park, and it's not too late to come on board as a Mariners season ticket member. With a Flex plan, you can choose your games and seats as you go and lock in priority postseason pre-sale access. Join today at mariners.com/flex.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales Event going on right now through Sunday, August 2nd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales Event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And just a reminder that I have this advice column that you can read on mynorthwest.com. You can also see the video portion on all our social media platforms. And today's question comes from a listener who says, Dear Ursula, sometimes I wonder about the people I am connected to on social media. There are certain friends and even family members whose posts I regularly like. And if they share good news, I'll congratulate them. If they post photos, I'll often at least leave a comment. I try to be supportive and engaged. But I have noticed that some of these very same people never seem to return the favor. So this person says they don't like my posts, they don't comment, they never acknowledge anything that I share. And the strange thing is I do know that they're seeing my content. They're active online. They seem to interact with plenty of other people, just not me. And this person says, at first I didn't let it bug me, but if I'm being honest, it does hurt my feelings. And it makes me wonder whether they're actually interested in this friendship or if they're just keeping tabs on what's going on in my life, if they're just being nosy. So part of me, this person says, wants to unfriend the people who never engage. Another part of me thinks I'm taking this far too personally and should simply let it go. What do you think? I gave this person the name Feeling Ignored Online.
Oh, okay, a couple of clarifying questions. Are they friends offline? Like,
yes.
Okay, these are friends.
Yes.
First, this is a thing. I didn't realize it was a thing that people would pay attention to, like, oh my gosh, they unfollowed me. How, like, the likes. I knew people would track, like, the number of likes, but in terms of who did and who didn't and how, and I was like, oh, okay. Two possible thoughts. Is it possible that sometimes I'll be so engaged with content that I forget to like? I will, and I feel bad. I'm like, oh my God, they probably think I'm just being but I'll be engaged with the content and literally just forget to like it.
Yeah.
This is hard. Let's see. If you're having to wonder this, that makes me think there's an issue with the relationship. The fact that you're even wondering it. And could it be like if you know for a fact they're looking at it and they're not engaging with you at all, but they're engaging with other people, I do think something's off. I think something's off, but I think you raising this issue tells me the fact that you're even looking, that you even looked and noticed, tells me there's something off.
And would you then I don't want to say confront, but bring it up to the person?
No, because then you're altering, like, their instinct was to...
Then you're pathetic.
Look at... Okay,
why aren't you liking my post?
I see that Chef is... Yeah, okay, Angela, see, I think that you would do well with also having an advice column because you would... But both G and Chef, man, they just go... I mean, they go for the jugular.
Stop caring about who likes your posts.
Okay.
Seriously, you're going to keep track of all of the people who engage in your online content? That stuff does not matter. It doesn't matter.
But hey, now you say, how much time do you spend on social media? When was the last time you posted anything?
Personally?
Yes.
0.
Thank you.
Okay, so
when
I
did, I did a lot in the past, and you know what? I never kept track of oh gosh, did cousin Michelle like this post? What about Aunt Debbie? No, I'm not keeping score about who likes my life.
Makes it hard because if you click on your likes, it shows you who all liked it.
Sure. I understand this.
And you don't ever
it's not a tit-for-tat ecosystem.
Can we admit that some of us may have looked at our likes and noticed who liked it? I mean, I've done that.
I understand that. I'm just saying that it is no way to live a life.
Okay.
And I see teens getting stuck in this all the time.
So I hear you loud and clear, Chef, and that's great because you're also not really on social media.
Yeah, but for someone who's engaged in this...
Yes, I would acknowledge that I can understand. So this is how I answered it.
Okay.
I'll give you the tidbits, but you can read it on mynorthwest.com because you can read the full thing. So I'm not going to get into it, and I'd love to hear from Nick too. But, I mean, initially I just said I would not take it too personally because people use social media in different ways. Like you said, I mean, for some people, they're just looky-loos. They just want to scroll around, and they're not really going to engage. Other people, like you said, almost can get...
engrossed
in something and you forget that you haven't interacted. I think it is much more important, how does that person treat you in real life? And if they're not engaging so much on social media, but they're still calling you, or you get together and you are still having a good time together, then don't take it too personally, even though sometimes that's hard because you're doing all those things for them. But the question also is, are you doing those things on their posts because you're expecting something in return?
Yes.
Ooh.
Because
Amen.
I think that's also an issue.
That's a great
point.
point.
Don't do it with the expectation that you're going to get the same kind of treatment, because not everyone's like that.
Right. And what was your reason for posting?
Yes.
Right? And
exactly.
then there's that. Okay. See, if we've had several people text and say, I hope I didn't miss Flex Friday. So when are we supposed to?
We need to do Flex Friday.
We can hit it next hour.
Yeah, let's hit it because thank you for reminding me.
Oh, no, they reminded. They were like, I didn't realize it was so beloved.
I didn't work out for nothing.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I made an extra trip to the gym last night. You know what we'll do? At the 10:30. What do we have at 10:30?
Yeah, we can do it at 10:30.
We're going to do it at 10:30.
10:30.
We'll talk about it at 10:30.
Sounds good.
Okay, more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
All right, I'm so excited to be talking with Phil Mitchell. He's a new advertiser to the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
You guys offer something that I think is so valuable. We have so many listeners in our audience who are business owners and a lot of people who are driving commercial vehicles. You guys are basically like a perfect silent partner because you offer repairs for life on these commercial vehicles. Tell me about that.
Well, basically, repairs for life means any vehicle that we repair for over $250, we're going to cover that repair for as long as you own the vehicle. So if you got a commercial fleet and you put a transmission in your 250,000-mile truck, we're going to cover that for life.
And you think about the value added there for a small business owner who is trying to stretch every single mile out of these vehicles.
You don't even have to buy the vehicle from us to get the repairs for life. Basically, we want to service your entire fleet. So if you bought your fleet from somewhere else, let us service it. We'll give you repairs for life. We're going to save you thousands.
Love it. Only at Sunset Ford and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Major rain, wind, and flooding lead to evacuations and rescues in the Midwest and East Coast. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
In Iron and Reynolds County, Missouri, they've got people needing rescue at campgrounds. They've had 6 to 10 inches of rainfall in just a couple of hours.
Among the European wildfire emergencies, one in southern Spain overnight killed at least 12 people. 8 people injured and 23 others missing. The Iran situation still not resolved. There's still what U.S. officials are calling technical talks. President Trump says the ceasefire is definitely over. Mexican officials say their government will file criminal complaints over the deaths of its citizens in ICE custody or as part of any immigration enforcement operations. This is after a fatal shooting of a Mexican national killed by federal agents in Houston claiming self-defense. CDC trying to trace the source of the stomach bug, now reported in 18 states. This is ABC News. We are remembering aviation pioneer Wally Funk, the youngest of the Mercury 13, a group of women who aced grueling training decades ago but never made it into space. Funk's dream later becoming a reality. ABC's Hannah Bata.
I never had any bad feelings. I knew I was going.
In 2021,
we're going to fly you up into space.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos surprising the then 82-year-old with a seat on the maiden crewed flight of his Blue Origin rocket. At 82, she became the oldest woman ever to reach space.
I love it. It was great.
Funk's advice for every dreamer coming up behind her:
the only thing a woman needs to compete in a man's world is ability. Go for everything you can. Higher, faster, longer.
She was 87.
Google rolling out a new How This Ad Was Made panel. Will show whether an ad was created or altered with the help of artificial intelligence. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
A frightening mid-air situation on a Ryanair flight. We'll explain in just a moment. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. And we are Friday light. I see a tiny little bit of traffic through downtown Seattle, but I think that's just really a blip as you get through that area. There's a little bit of a merge complication on the I-90 405 merge situation there. It looks like just the on-ramp to 405 is backed up a little bit. Nothing blocking, but just going to take you one extra minute to get onto 405 northbound from I-90. Other than that, it looks great. The lake bridges are totally clear. The drive all the way from Seattle to Everett is a speed limit drive, and same with Seattle to Tacoma. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A passenger was nearly sucked out of a 737 plane in Europe when an engine failed and debris shattered a window. This happened shortly after takeoff in Greece. Luckily, the man in his 60s survived with help from his seatbelt and the quick action of other passengers who held him in the plane as his arms and head dangled out. The Ryanair flight made an emergency landing. No one else was injured. Boeing has said it's following up with the airline, which is a major customer. And of course, Boeing is a major employer here in Washington state where those 737 planes are made. Detectives are still piecing together what led a man to kill 2 family members within a half hour in Pierce County on Wednesday. Christina Trujillo heard the gunshots that killed her father outside their Tacoma home. Her cousin, Hayes McLeod, was tracked to Oregon, where he died after a confrontation with police.
In reality, that it's a lose-lose situation no matter what.
Trujillo tells KIRO 7 TV the first victim was her brother-in-law. She last saw the suspect, McLeod, on the 4th of July and says he appeared totally normal. A judge handed a victory to state inspectors and activists in a years-long battle over access to the Northwest Detention Center. A federal judge has ruled that the GEO Group, which runs that facility, has to allow inspections. Those have been blocked since a law required them in 2023. GEO Group has 2 weeks to appeal. And the Mariners are bringing even more mojo to their ballpark menu. The team is adding a bunch of new items for the second half of the season. Local favorites are front and center. Ivers brings in a bacon salmon sandwich. Rolling Smoke Barbecue is serving up a half-rack rib platter with all the fixings. Seattle Street Corn has some creative new cobs as well. Of course, this all adds to the 50th season lineup that's anchored by fan favorite ferry boat platter. And of course, it wouldn't be a newscast if we didn't remind you about Revive I-5, which is coming back starting tonight.
The Roanoke on-ramp is not going to be accessible. It's going to be inaccessible during this time, which is a major on-ramp. That's the one I use to get home every night. The northbound express lanes will be open 24/7 through the duration of this project. You can read more about it at mynorthwest.com.
And of course, that's Nate Connors from KIRO News Radio. I-5 northbound will completely shut down all weekend, so plan your alternate routes. Let's get a check on your weather. We are going to be a high of 74 today. Morning clouds giving way to a little bit more sun. Mostly cloudy all of Saturday with a high of 71. It's 66 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Yes, it is a Fresh Friday. It's also Flex Fridays,
Yes.
and we did not touch base at 9:47, so we're going to do it here in about 20 minutes. Okay. So those of you who have been joining us on this effort of all of ours collectively to get more healthy, text us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, Angela, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I want to make sure that we get to hear from all of you who have joined us in this process. For me, it's been up and down. How about you?
I'm seeing a little momentum, and I have a new trick, and that's what I can't wait to share with people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So G is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. We have a very full hour for you. Again, our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
A deadly wildfire in Chelan is now more than 50% contained, but residents in several neighborhoods are still under level 2 evacuation status, and the officials over there are still trying to figure out the full scale of the losses. We do know one person was killed, at least 19 homes were destroyed. Chelan Valley Hope is the organization that is responsible for providing direct help to the residents who have been directly impacted by these fires. And right now we are joined by Board President Stacy Willoughby. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. It's nice to talk to you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I will say that, as our listeners know, Chelan is an area that is near and dear to my heart. A lot of folks over here either vacation there or have homes there and are watching what is going on. And it just sounds like it's been a harrowing experience for all of you.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. We were on the west side of the mountains for the 4th of July this year, and it was just such a strange experience having so many fireworks going off all over the place, because you don't see that very often in Eastern Washington because of the fire danger. And this is what happened.
So talk to us about when the fire grew and when it got out of control.
Yeah, so they're pretty sure it started by fireworks. They have, Douglas County has issued $25,000 as a reward to try to catch the people who started this fire with fireworks. And it's been really windy over the last 2-3 weeks. We've had several days of red flag warnings, where nobody's supposed to be burning anything. And the wind shifted. It got really crazy that evening. I have friends whose homes were saved, and friends of friends who lost their homes. It's just, it happened so fast.
Yeah. Could you give us a sense for the greatest needs right now? What's just top priority for you as an organization in this moment?
Right. So, so grateful for the Red Cross and how they were able to help, right away between the 5th of July up until now. So they've taken care of a lot of the, emergency needs. So right now, Chelan Valley Hope is, and we're in the middle of rebranding because the area that we serve is all the way out to Waterville and Mansfield, Manson, Eniat, Bridgeport. It's quite a large area. But the things that we need most right now are donations of funds, honestly. Diapers and wipes and, all of those things that are expensive and difficult to get. There's several places that are collecting donations of clothing and food and, household items. So that's Habitat for Humanity in Chelan, and the Mansfield Community Church are also collecting donations. But for Chelan Valley Hope, the easiest thing for us is financial donations, and our community has been very generous so far. I'm just looking at the list again. Gift cards, toiletries, new or gently used items, diapers, wipes. Those are the things that are listed.
Okay, and we'll give people, I'm sure, a place for them to go make that financial donation. What about volunteering? Are there opportunities? I want to say I read that maybe you could use volunteers.
Yes. Well, anytime we have a disaster like this, and it's still early in the season, there's always an influx of donations. And so between all three organizations, we could use volunteers. It's a busy time of year anyway with so many people in town, but sorting through things, getting things to people. The McNeil Canyon Road is closed, and so it's also difficult for us to get things to the people, to the areas that are under evacuation. So volunteers to move things around to wherever people are, that's also helpful.
That's such a great point. You get this influx of donations, financial, also, I'm sure clothing and gift, all kinds of things. And you need staff, volunteers to be able to distribute and handle logistics. That makes perfect sense to me. So how can people connect with you to help?
Yes. So our website is ChelanValleyHope.org. CHELAN, in case people don't know how to spell Chelan.
You never know,
You never know. And, this is our busy tourist season. And so, even people who are coming to visit are donating, and families have been volunteering, which is it's wonderful when a community comes together like this. But it would also be nice if people who are visiting don't start fires. We have enough fires with lightning and other, natural causes that we don't need people to be starting fires.
Absolutely. And as you said, this has now turned into a criminal investigation. They believe that it could be fireworks that started this, what has turned into a deadly fire that has killed at least one person and has destroyed nearly 20. Tell us of maybe a story that you've heard or someone you've encountered who basically had to leave at a moment's notice because the fire was so fast moving.
Well, the story that's most top of mind as far as that is the gentleman who died. That's what he was trying to do, was evacuate. And it's difficult because people... I have an employee who, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to sort through all these stories in my head. I have an employee who lives up McNeil Canyon, and they left at a moment's notice. And when they went back to their house afterwards, and they were just taking whatever they can. One of the tips another employee has is just to bring your dirty clothes laundry, because you know that you have everything in there. You don't need to sort through stuff. Anyway, when this other coworker went back to their house, they found that people, other neighbors, had set up sprinklers around their house for them, which was really helpful. But this fire came all the way up, burned their fence, but the house was okay. And so,
Wow. But for so many people, they weren't able to take the clothing and all the things that they need to be able to, live outside of their home for more than a couple of days. Stacey, I really appreciate you sharing the information with us. One more time, just on where people can donate. You said cash would be the best donation at this juncture. Where should they go?
Right. So financial donations are best right now, and they can go to ChelanValleyHope.org. And if people have other things that they want to donate, they can go to the Habitat for Humanity in Chelan or the Mansfield Community Church up in Mansfield.
Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much, and please take care.
Thank you. I appreciate you getting the word out. Thank you.
It's so sad. I mean, that is if you haven't had a chance to go there, it is such a beautiful area, but it seems like every single summer they're dealing with fire.
Yeah. And it's so like we have enough working against us sometimes with nature to have it be human caused by something like fireworks. Like, come on, guys.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay, I want to talk about another headline that I saw, and this is having to do with the Seahawks. And this is in the Seattle Times. The Seahawks sale may be turning into a two-team race. So Front Office Sports is reporting that other potential buyers have been told they're out, leaving two groups still in serious contention. So one is led by steel billionaire Aditya Mittal and former Boston Celtics majority owner, I'm not going to even try, Weiss Grausbeck. The other is led by Silicon Valley venture capitalist and San Francisco 49ers minority owner Vinod Khosla. Oh, my goodness, these names. I'm going to have to get used to them if they're going to be owning the Seattle Seahawks. But a co-owner of the Dodgers is reportedly no longer in the running. And even though there were years of speculation, Microsoft co-founder Steve Ballmer has still not been identified as a bidder. Now, that was the name that I thought might come back. There is a little wiggle room here. One source says another bidder could still emerge, but it appears to be a field that is shrinking fast.
Yeah, and when will we know? Like, we've had speculation on this since the Super Bowl, which was was it February?
Yes.
Yeah, so this has been months in the making. When is the deadline for us? Like, when is the unveiling happening?
Yeah, that I would love to know, but the initial bids were reportedly due June 29th. And Seahawks Vice Chair Bert Kolde is attending a retreat in Idaho, and that's with the same investment bank helping the Paul Allen estate manage the sale. So it could be very soon.
Okay, so likely the offer's already in, and we're now just in speculation mode of who is in that room.
Yes.
Because I remember Gee having the discussion on the show saying that it is considered just it could absolutely ruin your chances if it's publicly released by you that you're part of the deal. Like,
remember, he said the G in lasagna, it's supposed to be silent. And so these names that are coming up, I mean, could it still be someone that's not
on
being
here
reported?
Like, is this just a distraction?
Yes, exactly. How much do you care about who ends up owning the Seahawks?
Okay, it's funny you asked that because I don't care much. But here's what I care about. I care about our culture. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate that a lot of our companies that are based here, including the Seattle Seahawks, often reflect our values. We are not perfect, okay? But I do feel like we have a reputation for caring about people, for service. And every organization doesn't have that. I know some people who've worked for other NFL teams, and it has not been like the Seahawks in terms of how they interact with the community and just who they are. And so I just
want them to embody the spirit of Paul Allen.
That's it. That is absolutely it. I care to the extent of that.
Yeah. And how about local ties?
That is not as important to me. What's most important, because we have so many people here who've moved to the area.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if you haven't had a connection before, but you've fallen in love with the area and that feels genuine and you want to be part of the community, not just some other asset that you own. I just don't want it to be like this is just another person's asset in their portfolio.
Yes. Like they're invested. They've got to be invested, literally invested in the community beyond the team.
Yes.
And care about what impact the team has on this community.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I mean, I was still hoping that Mackenzie Scott and Melinda Gates would somehow be part of it.
That would be great. I just want to have some people that I would love to have some people that we know who have been part of this area.
Yes.
And get us. And like that would be ideal. I'd love to have a familiar name come up that we know about. So
tell us what you think. I mean,
do you care?
Do you care?
888-973-5476. 973-5476. It is a huge change for Paul Allen. The Seahawks, it was a passion of his, right? I mean, he enjoyed music, he enjoyed the sports teams, and it's a big shift.
Yes, for sure.
I was excited. I woke up this morning.
Okay, it is time for Flex Fridays. And Gee's not here, but I know that he works out every single day, so he always puts me to shame. But I would love to hear, you said you've made a shift in
Here's
something.
what's happened. So I don't know if you all remember, but I broke a record on the scale. Like, went beyond where no woman like me should say that I've ever gone before.
Yes.
I went beyond. I broke a record. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I started this new thing where after dinner, I go on a walk or do something active.
Oh, that's great.
But see, we're able to do that in the summer, because it's light until, almost 10 o'clock. So I was able to go outside, I'll play a little tennis or I'll go for a walk. And now I'm back at my previous record. So
already?
Yes.
That's quick.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I think I've heard there's something, they call it the granny walk, like going on a walk after dinner is supposed to be really good for your insulin and for that's.
See, I am just finding out, because the last night I squeezed in one more workout. I literally squeezed in one more workout because I knew we were going to be talking about it today. Not because I particularly love going to the gym. I've just got to keep it real. I don't love going to the gym, but I do love going on walks, like you said, or going to play pickleball, or just doing something that keeps me moving, or just making sure I park far enough away so that I get the extra steps or whatever it is. But I also hit a bit of a I don't say milestone because I've been here before, but I have lost 10 pounds since we first started doing Flex Fridays.
That's amazing.
So I hit the 10-pound mark.
That's
I was
amazing.
excited, and I had a doctor's appointment this week, and I didn't feel stress. She actually was excited because she was the one who told me you need to do something at least once a week. And I bumped it to twice a week.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling really good about that. But Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, again, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We want to hear what you guys are doing.
Yeah. No, I'm laughing at the text that I just got in about what the walk is called after dinner. Have you all heard that before, that there's supposed to be something about when you do it after? But okay, here's the other thing I heard.
After a meal. They do that all the time. I know in Germany.
Yeah.
It's like every time we'd have a meal, like my family would say, okay, time to walk in the forest.
Listen, I heard for women our age.
Not take a nap?
No, it was like literally walk.
Yeah, I heard that for women our age, over-exercising can actually work against us losing weight. And when I say over-exercising, I'm meaning like the HIIT class, like the ones that are really extreme. They say because it raises our cortisol, and that cortisol kind of prevents weight loss because you're stressed. So there is something that is nice about the walk, that it's movement without being over. Again, talk to your doctor.
Yes, absolutely.
This is what I heard from some unknown source.
That's fantastic. Roger in University Place, I was just reacting. He says, speaking of bragging, I just passed 300 pounds on the leg press. And our friend Layla is gardening, which I think gardening is a great form of exercise.
Yes, all the bending and pulling. Yes, all of that.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
I love doing the Flex Friday. Yeah, go ahead.
Chef, do you want to add to Flex Fridays?
Wow, the look you just gave us.
I know. Come on.
No. No.
You know what? You keep busy with your kids.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do.
And Nick, I want to make sure I'm not excluding you here.
I try and find time when I can, but the last couple of weeks have just been so busy working both my jobs, so it's just been
I get it.
A lot.
I get it. That's the biggest struggle for me, is I feel like I'm always working exhausted.
Yes.
And one of the things that my doctor said is, because I was like, how is it that I'm eating less and I'm exercising more and the weight is coming off so slowly?
Exactly.
And she said, sleep.
Sleep.
For lack of it.
And I'm wondering, do you feel like when you're working out, are you overdoing it?
No. I gotta keep it a buck. Nope. Okay. Still ahead. What are we doing at 10:30?
Oh.
We are going to talk about whether our attachment to our phone screens are adding anxiety to our kids.
Yes, there's a new study about that, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Okay,
Gonna keep it real.
More of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, afternoons 2 to 7.
So the places that you want to be throughout the entire year. You want to be in Vermont for the fall. You want to be in Washington, D.C. for the cherry blossoms. And then you want to be in Seattle for about 6 weeks to enjoy a summer that you will tell everyone is the most beautiful place in the world to be. For the World Cup happening right here, it's perfect.
The John Curley Show. Subscribe to KIRO News Radio on YouTube and watch live or later.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
George Thorogood and the Destroyers, the baddest show on earth, with the Robert Cray Band. August 6th, the Tulalip Amphitheater. Don't get tickets on sale now at Tulalip and Quilcena One Club Desks or Ticketmaster.
Wow, Sarah, these window coverings are gorgeous. Did you guys do this yourself?
No way, it's all Hunter Douglas. My local expert came to our home, brought samples, and helped us see everything in our actual light, then measured perfectly and handled the installation.
If you're planning a remodel, moving into a new home, or simply ready to elevate how your space feels, Westco Blinds, your neighborhood Hunter Douglas expert, offers custom, beautifully crafted window treatments thoughtfully designed for life. Whether it's blinds, shades, shutters, or drapes, our products fit your windows perfectly. And with smart home options, you control the light and privacy with a tap or on schedule. Hunter Douglas window treatments are an investment in quality, backed by a lifetime limited warranty and ongoing support from your trusted local expert, Westco Blinds. Call now to schedule your free in-home design consultation.
Call 206-285-5455, 206-285-5455, 206-285-5455.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know Sunbucks gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically. Others need to apply. Find out if you should apply at freesummermeals.org.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. If a cookout is on the weekend agenda, you're going to want to take extra care to avoid a parasite that's making life miserable for people in at least 18 states. ABC's Jim Ryan has been following this story.
There's no medication to prevent the illness caused by cyclosporiasis, and treatment once you're infected is aimed at managing the severe stomach bug symptoms. The outbreak has at least one fast food chain, Taco Bell, pulling tomatoes, lettuce, cilantro, and raw onions from its menu in hard-hit Michigan.
And across the planet, major flash flooding and severe weather has prompted evacuations, especially in Missouri and Kentucky. It's also affected flights back east with a plane that slid off a runway in Montreal. Hundreds of flights were delayed and thousands of others canceled. Thunderstorms and other severe weather today could force even more travel issues, so check with your airline to make sure you're on track. At least 12 people have died in Spain, where wildfires are being fueled by hot weather and dry conditions. More from ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge.
Europe is really warming year on year, faster than any other continent. Wildfire conditions are perfect, sadly. It's very, very dry out there. There are high winds at times. We've had multiple wildfires across France. Now wildfires in Spain, turning deadly. And we're pretty early in the season. And compared to previous seasons, much larger areas have already been burnt.
The Chelan Hills fire in Douglas County is now 95% contained, but Central Washington is bracing for more fire danger this week. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard says a fire weather watch is in effect for Saturday.
I expect the wind to pop up a little bit each day. Today it will get breezy in the afternoon. Tomorrow it's going to get breezy in the afternoon. Saturday it's going to get breezy in the afternoon, although mainly east of the Cascades.
The Weather Service is urging people to avoid campfires, target shooting, and fireworks. And of course, there is now a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and prosecution of the person who may have set the Chelan Hills fire in Douglas County, which is responsible for claiming one life. Now we're going to check on your traffic report, and it has been Friday light, truly. We've only got one little sticking point through the S-curves. It's going to take you about 2 extra minutes beyond a speed limit drive. I am seeing some collisions stations north of those S-curves, right? But in kind of on the Kennydale area, there's one in the northbound lanes, and it looks like potentially one in the southbound lanes, maybe from a looky-loo there. But it's not causing too much of a problem. Most of the slowing is through the S-curves, and when you get beyond that section, all the way through downtown Bellevue and Kirkland, it is green, a speed limit drive on the map. Tiny little snag through downtown Seattle, but then again, your speed limit drive in either direction to either Tacoma or Everett, pretty much wherever you want to go. This traffic report is brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer, presented by T-Mobile. Next up is the 2000s Decade Show, July 17th. Get your tickets at mariners.com/fireworks. It's going to be a pretty nice day, even with some clouds, a high of 74 degrees. Tomorrow, more clouds and a high of 71. Lows overnight, pretty mild in the mid-50s all week, and then very sunny by Sunday. It's 67 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is filling in this morning, and we've talked about kids and screens quite a bit, but maybe we need to pay more attention to adults and their screens, because what if I were to tell you that your own behavior on social media and specifically on your phones is playing a huge role in creating anxiety for your own kids? This is what a new study says, that a parent's attachment to their phone can cause additional stress. And the study is titled, Mommy, Do You Love Your Phone More Than Me? And it was published in Frontiers in Psychology. And the researchers questioned 600 young people in the U.S. between the ages of 12 to 17. And they found that their parents having their face in their screens while they were trying to connect left the teens feeling devalued, dismissed, or basically unimportant. And they said that that led to increased anxiety and insecurity. And in fact, Angela, there is a term for this, and it's called phubbing, which means a person ignoring the social setting in front of them in favor of their phone.
Whew. How often as a parent do we say, we don't say this, but these are our actions that we say, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you on the screen. I don't want you on social media, but I'm doing the thing. I am so guilty of some of this behavior, standing in line, getting on the phone, or in a doctor's office and getting on the phone. And I'll never forget this one researcher saying that regardless of what you say to your kids, they are watching you.
Oh, gosh, yes.
They are watching you, and they feel that it's like when you go into your phone, you go into another world.
You do.
You are removed from the present situation you're in.
And to make your point, how many times when someone is trying to converse with you, let's say your partner, and let's not say not even your kid, and I mean, I know that sometimes when Mark tries to get my attention and my face is in the phone and I'm looking up, XYZ.
Yep. You're doing something important.
Tries, right? It's really, in the grand scheme of things, not that important.
Right.
Not more important than my husband wanting to engage in a conversation. And I think, man, he probably feels it. Imagine your kid, what your kids are feeling. Mm-hmm. And not to say that your whole world needs to revolve around your kids, but, absolutely I can see where, they're watching you. And there are so few moments where you can connect with your kids. Right? I mean, if you think about it, what are those times?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. I have, because I remembered what that researcher said about regardless of what you do, kids feel your energy. It's what we do impacts them in ways that we don't even see. And so I recently knew I'd have a long doctor's visit. I took a book with me. And I didn't tell her she had to bring a book. I just brought a book, and I decided that I would read in the waiting room instead of being on the phone. And I'm going to start reading before bed again, all these things. And sure enough, the other day, she was going to bed and was reading a book. Now, I never talked about it. But I
so
do.
Modeling your behavior, basically. And that's kind of what instead of telling her, why don't you read books, you were trying to model the behavior that you hope she would do.
I was just trying to make myself better. I wasn't even thinking about her in the moment. I was just thinking, how do I make myself better?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing, and even with the walks after dinner, she's like, oh, could I go with you?
Also, when you grab your phone while you're driving, for example.
Yes.
And for you to tell your kids, hey, when they're of driving age, make sure you keep your phone away. Well, are you doing the same thing? Right? Because they're learning that behavior.
Why are you looking at me in a judgmental way?
I'm not. You look particularly guilty. I wasn't.
Okay,
You're projecting. I'm not calling anyone out.
One time, my son did tell me, Mom, when he was younger, put away the phone. And he was absolutely right. I was like, oh my God. It was not even something I was thinking about. It was just instinct.
Yeah.
And they're watching. It's like, oh my God, put away the phone.
And
the other thing is, like, how about when you go out for meals together? So again, my sons are in their 20s now, but when we still get together, it's like, hey, how about we put away the phones and have conversations?
Yeah, exactly. And to be clear, I'm not like a texter in driving, but my issue becomes more around, someone might call or it's the music. Oh my gosh, don't like this song anymore. I want to change the music. And, it all comes through it's not good. It's yes. So anyway,
it's an
Chef is giving me the look. So I'm going to let Chef stop.
I'm guilty of this, but not specifically with my phone all the time because I'm not on my phone all the time, but I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And I'll be honest, it's an escape for me. And the phones are an escape. And it doesn't just have to be the phone. It can be, there's a lot of folks who, if you're of my age, was Dad really there or was he just watching the TV?
Ooh.
Right? There's all kinds of behaviors that we engage in where we, noticeably pull our attention away from the people that we're in the same room with. Like I've caught myself asking Gabby recently when she's on her phone, where are you right now?
You ask that?
Yeah. Not because like I don't want to ask, what are you doing? But sometimes it's, I'm dealing with, this thing that came up with our kid, talking to the daycare teacher. Like, I want to know where she is because sometimes it's an important place that I should be engaging in too.
Yeah.
And I think this is a problem not just for kids, but also in our relationships.
1,000%.
I don't know how many couples have rules about the phones, and there's those perfect families where, we have the box at our front door, and as soon as we walk in, we drop them. I don't know.
I do know one family like that. She's a teacher, and they had like one family phone for the longest.
That's just not going to happen.
I admired her so much. Admire her so much for how she handled the phone.
I'm curious.
Have you had a conversation with your husband about phone use?
He gets really annoyed by my behavior because what he doesn't
Mine too. I think you and I are probably in the same boat.
Because if the phone rings, he and I could be talking, but if the phone rings, I want to answer it. And he said, we're talking. Whoever it is can wait.
Right.
But I feel like if all of a sudden it rings, like I should answer it. I don't know why. I think we are in this culture. If someone emails you or texts you, you feel like, I need to get back to them quickly.
Yes. And
you are looking at me with such
it sucks. It's a modern problem. There just weren't things that took us out of our immediate surroundings with such ease in the past.
Yes. Oh
it's true. But we're all talking about it, but I've yet to hear someone say, I'm willing to put away my phone and just fully focus on my partner.
I mean, we try though, right?
I'm working on we are reducing our screen time. My daughter and I are doing it together. Our goal is 5% per week.
5%? How are you
reducing it
that?
by 5%
each week? Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Is that not realistic?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, that's entirely realistic.
That's actually a good, just a gradual.
Are there rewards involved?
Yeah, it depends on if one doesn't do it and the other does. Then I think it.
If
has
mom
to
messes
be,
up,
like a massage is involved or something. Yeah.
That's great.
So.
See, look at this. Connie in Seattle says, at T in Conway, same thing. I mean, parents on phones. How about partners My partner spends 2 hours upon waking on his tablet, gets up and breakfast is in front of the TV in his workroom. The computer is on. When we're on the car, I'm driving on the phone. After dinner, in front of the TV with phone in hand scrolling. I have felt that the screen is more important than me. Oh, no. And Connie, I know for a fact that you're not alone.
Yeah, and that's what the study was saying, that that's how kids are feeling at an age where they want to know that they're valued.
Yes. Okay, we're all going to try to be more conscious about that.
Yes.
Okay, more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
John is a national champion ping pong player.
My greatest claim to fame is an actor who portrayed the Chinese national champion that played Forrest Gump. I played him in a national tournament and I actually beat him.
Competing at that level takes precision and healthy shoulders, but after years of wear and tear, he was dealing with a serious shoulder injury.
I had a slap tear. Success rate for the surgery was only about 15%.
Instead of surgery, he chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy, the most experience in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
The next day, I was pretty much 100%. I was pain-free. I had problems with my shoulder for 20 or 30 years.
And have you been able to compete again?
I won a national title 6 months after the procedure. My shoulder's like I'm an 18-year-old.
So whether it's a hip like I had, a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you order a ride from a rideshare company, do you know what you're getting? Big rideshare companies have been caught failing to protect passengers from dangerous drivers and not supporting drivers and passengers after an accident, all to protect their profits. That's why if you've been injured in a rideshare vehicle, you need Davis Law Group to protect you. Their in-house team of investigators and legal staff has a successful track record of taking on rideshare companies, and they've won millions. Visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With advanced hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to get down with Grammy-winning New Orleans legends, the Rebirth Brass Band, with brass, funk, and pure second-line energy. Shows run July 7th and 8th. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, Delvin Lamar Organ Trio.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
It is 10:49, and it's time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
This one's from Ask Ann. I'm 28 and have been with my girlfriend for about a year and a half. Things are really good between us overall, but we keep hitting a wall over one specific issue. I occasionally text with an ex from about 4 years ago. And I do mean occasionally. We're talking maybe once or twice a month, maybe less than that. And the gist is, how's work? Did you see that movie? That kind of thing. We're not close friends. We don't hang out. And there's absolutely zero romantic feeling on my end. But it really bothers my girlfriend. Her argument is that this ex wasn't great to me when we dated, which is partially true. We had a rocky ending. And she doesn't understand why I'd want to maintain contact with someone who hurt me. She frames it as being protective of me, which I appreciate in theory, but in practice it feels like she's making a decision about my relationships for me. I'm a grown man who's preceded that relationship and moved on, and I'm capable of deciding who I want to have casual contact with. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but I also don't want to keep upsetting her. Angela, is she being reasonable or controlling, or is it something else?
Sounds perfectly reasonable to me. I just question the motive. Her saying that this is about protecting him, I think that's BS. I think this is her noticing this is an ex. An ex is an ex for a reason. We've been dating a year and a half. Why are you still having casual contact with this person? And just because he has no feelings doesn't mean that the girl doesn't, especially if she messed things up and knows he's a good catch. I'm a big fan. I do believe people can be friends, but this is an ex. And this is your girlfriend saying, hey, and I think the bigger question is this. Why, to the guy, why are you feeling like you still need to stay in contact?
I think you've nailed all of it. That's the question I have. So first one would be, why does he feel the need? And I get it. Oh, I want to see how she's doing, etc. Well, do you feel comfortable with your ex meeting your new girlfriend? Why is this person, still kind of an ex who is only accessible to you, but yet your girlfriend knows that you're still contacting her? She has told you that she doesn't feel comfortable with it. And even though she gave I agree with you. It's not about protecting him, even though he admits this. Yeah, why are you staying connected with someone who treated you like dirt when you were together? But I think it's more, why are you staying connected to her? Are you trying to keep an open lifeline in case we don't work out? And if your girlfriend...
No romantic feelings, right? That's what he says.
Yeah, that could change on a dime, as I've been told by you guys. So my question is, what is your motive? Do you like the fact that it makes your girlfriend feel uncomfortable? And if your girlfriend tells you, I'm not okay with this, and you're still going to do it, that tells me you're just not that into her.
I'm shocked.
Why?
I'm kind of shocked because normally in these scenarios, at least if it's the genders are reversed, hey, I'm a woman and I have an ex from 4 years ago, and we had kind of a rocky ending of our relationship, and I still occasionally text him, and my boyfriend has a problem with it. You usually say that the partner is being jealous. The current partner is being jealous, right?
No.
No? Okay.
253 texted in. All he's telling his new girlfriend is that his ex fulfills something that she isn't. I think that's also another way to interpret it.
I think it's flattering. I think people like the flattery of being contacted by the ex. They're still kind of interested in me.
Yes.
Even if you're not interested in them, it's like, yeah, she still wants me.
Yep.
That's right. She
and
still
is
wants
that
me.
worth your new relationship? Is that worth risking your new relationship when your girlfriend now of a year and a half says, I'm not okay with it? Nick, what do you think?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with staying in touch with an ex if it becomes more of a friendship than maintaining romantic feelings. And there's plenty of couples who are able to do that with formers and stay together. Now, I don't know the details of this connection and being revived every couple of months or so, but I got a feeling the dude and his ex might still have a little life amongst each other if the girlfriend is this suspicious of the tie still being, put together. So I would say, get a little more details about how they're talking with each other and how often, because maybe, he might be a little bit loose with the details about how often they're staying in touch, but I could be wrong.
So basically you're a little open to someone you're with staying in contact with an ex as a friend.
Yeah. It could be possible, but, if there's
But everyone's got to be on board.
There's a hint of suspicion. I feel like there could be some things left unsaid right now.
Have you all ever been friends with an ex?
Yes.
Nope.
I have not. There are people that you run into each other. Hey, how you doing? There's
Friend?
an occasional.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more like an acquaintance, like you said. Yeah, not friends. No.
Who has the time in their life to maintain
No.
relationships with exes?
And would I be okay with Mark texting an ex and saying, just checking to see, I don't have any feelings?
Did you see
no,
this movie?
I would not be okay with this. No. Chris in Port Orchard says, if she is not comfortable, dude needs to knock it off. Such a lack of respect towards the current girlfriend. She should consider moving on if he isn't willing to part ways. Agree.
Yeah, Brian says, knock it off, dude.
Yeah, don't be stupid. Come on. Okay, we'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
State Senator Jamie Peterson drafted one of the state's most progressive taxes to date, the income tax on millionaires.
Engaging conversation.
We pay teachers the fourth highest of any state in the country.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
The Seahawks, they're bringing it home again.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
The civil authorities have issued a required monthly test for Benton, WA, Franklin, WA, and all of Washington beginning at 10:50 a.m. and ending at 11:50 a.m. This is a test. This is only a test of the emergency alert system in Washington State issued by the Washington State Emergency Operations Center. In the event of an emergency, this system would bring you important information. The following tones will conclude this test from the Washington State Emergency Operations Center.
The best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
It sounds simple, but it's true. Food is life. And Saturday, July 18th, you're invited to Ageless Living Ballard to share some great food, great music, and make some great memories. Ageless Living's finest chefs from all over the Northwest will be there to showcase their skills. And Ageless Living President Chef Dirk and I are having a friendly little cook-off, and you get to be the judge. There'll be free food and wine tastings, $2,000 in raffle prizes, and a live performance from Spike and the Impalers. That's Saturday, July 18th at 1 o'clock at Ageless Living in Ballard. RSVP today at agelessliving.com/KIRO.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. To many Americans, affordability is a top issue set to become law tonight without his signature. If President Trump doesn't veto it, a bipartisan housing affordability bill. It would expand financing for affordable housing. Mexican officials say their government will file criminal complaints over the deaths of its citizens in ICE custody or as part of immigration enforcement. This after the fatal shooting of a Mexican national by federal agents in Houston. Texas Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia at a Houston briefing.
I have concerns about the potential witnesses being removed from our area. And perhaps even being deported.
President Trump says the ceasefire with Iran is over. There are still talks, though. Demanding a transparent investigation, the family of the Mississippi teenager whose body was found off of Barrier Island, Nolan Wells, was with friends out on a boat near Horn Island. This is ABC News. A wildfire in southern Spain overnight killed at least 12 people, 8 people injured, and 23 others missing. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge.
Europe is really warming year on year, faster than any other continent. Wildfire conditions are perfect, sadly. It's very, very dry out there. There are high winds at times. We've had multiple wildfires across France. Now wildfires in Spain, turning deadly. And we're pretty early in the season. And compared to previous seasons, much larger areas have already been burnt.
A scary mid-air incident on board a Ryanair flight in Europe. A portion of the plane's fuselage came apart, causing a window panel to dislodge. The passenger closest to the window was taken to the hospital. Nobody else hurt. It happened shortly after takeoff when the flight was heading to Germany from Greece. The plane landed safely a short while after. A Greek aviation official says they think there was a massive rupture in the engine. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
You just heard some troubling Boeing news. We've got some good Boeing news for you after our traffic report. And we are green almost all over the map. We do have some bunching up in the Renton S-curves, which is causing some slowing on the 167 merge. We had a couple of collisions on 405 northbound, right north of the Kennydale area. It looks like one has cleared, one is still hanging around, but not causing too much slowing in that stretch at this point. Let's look at I-5. We're a little bit slow getting in and out of Seattle. And we do have a collision on I-5 northbound just south of the 90 interchange. Again, not causing too much of a tight slowdown. It looks like it's more of a distraction than anything else. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. A widower and his family are suing the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports they claim the agency ignored warnings from the man who shot and killed their loved one and her unborn daughter.
The lawsuit claims caregivers at KCRH did nothing for suspect Cordell Gooseby when he asked for help as his mental health declined, including allegedly talking about shooting people. Police say in 2023, Gooseby shot Ina Kwan as she sat at a red light, killing her and her unborn baby. The family's attorney, Julie Klein, says they also want to uncover more about the suspect's treatment.
In fact, one of the things we're seeking through this lawsuit is some answers as to why he wasn't getting the kind of services he so obviously needed.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
You heard about the frightening mid-air emergency over Greece in a Boeing 737 in the ABC newscast. Well, we have some other Boeing news. For the first time ever, Boeing is building its 737 MAX in Everett. The Seattle Times reports the company fired up a brand new assembly line Monday, the fourth for the MAX and the first one outside the Renton factory. Boeing calls it the North Line. It's $1 billion investment that starts with about 1,000 workers. The company needs to ramp up production to meet global demand for jets after years of safety problems and production slowdowns. Boeing, of course, one of our region's biggest employers, holds a ribbon cutting at the Everett facility today. We got a break while the World Cup was in town, but Revive I-5 resumes tonight across the Ship Canal Bridge. I-5 northbound will be completely shut down all weekend, so crews can set up their work zone. Then from Monday until the end of the year, the two right northbound lanes will be closed. Here's KIRO News Radio's Nate Connors.
The Roanoke on-ramp is not going to be accessible. It's going to be inaccessible during this time, which is a major on-ramp. That's the one I use to get home every night. The northbound express lanes will be open 24/7 through the duration of this project. You can read more about it at mynorthwest.com.
The WNBA has named its all-star team, and one of the Seattle Storm players is on it as a reserve player. Dominique Malonga was the second overall draft pick in 2025 and the youngest player in WNBA history to score 30 points in a game with 37 against Dallas last month. The 20-year-old is also the youngest WNBA player with 500 points. The All-Star game is July 25th in Chicago. Congratulations to Dominique. Now let's get our weather forecast. Pretty nice day, 74. Morning clouds give way to a little bit more sun. 71 tomorrow, Saturday, with mostly cloudy. The sun returns in full force on Sunday with a high of 75. It's 67 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is a fresh Friday. Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is off today. Angela Poe Russell is in. We're already in our third hour.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Crazy. Coming up at 11:30, we agree to disagree. Again, our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is open for you. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Our last conversation about adults being addicted to their phones and how it's actually affecting our relationships. We were talking about that study that kids are affected by our parents'
Fubbing,
use of
right.
phone.
Yes.
This term called fubbing, where we're pretending we're paying attention to the kids, but we're really in our phones. So many people are texting and talking about how it is impacting their relationships with their partners. And
Yeah.
I need to look in the mirror myself.
Right.
Mark, I love you, and I need to do better. Text us again, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
If you missed it, Charlie Harger's commentary today was something that we wanted to bring up again, because we're talking about a case where you have one man, one bridge, and a case that really exposes nearly every broken part of the system at once. So we're talking about this case involving a 47-year-old Gregory Galitzek. Seattle police say they found him walking on the West Seattle Bridge shortly after 1 a.m. on June 27th. He was carrying a bunch of copper wire. He had tools. He had a flashlight. But again, this is 1 a.m., and he claimed that he worked for Seattle City Light. As it turned out, of course, he did not. That wire was worth about $1,000, but the damage done, and we see this all the time, the damage done was $100,000. So the cost of getting that little amount of the copper wire has a great
impact. It's a great impact,
right?
yes.
But he was charged with 3 first-degree felonies, and prosecutors had warned that, hey, if you look at his history, he's not going to return to court because his record includes 16 prior warrants plus convictions for escape, burglary, and meth delivery. And even with all that, the court released him without bail.
They let him go.
Yes.
No bail, even though he had an escape conviction. And
had been warned by prosecutors, like, this is someone who would be worthy of holding because he has a history.
But he did better, right? He came back, didn't he?
No, he didn't. So there is now a 17th warrant out for his arrest. And what I like, though, is Charlie looked at some other things, too, because another issue that keeps coming up, we hear it when we talk about Sound Transit being impacted or neighborhoods being impacted because of this stolen copper market that keeps thriving for some reason. State lawmakers actually considered bills that would have required recyclers to photograph copper purchases and upload them to a searchable database, but neither bill passed for some reason. So they claim they're going to try to do it again. So here we are as taxpayers stuck with the repair bill, and the suspect didn't show up, and these copper recyclers are still in business.
Yeah. I love Charlie's commentaries, first of all, and I'm so glad that he highlighted this. And what it prompted for me, because it feels like another day and we're reporting on something like this. This was a little different. And that, wow, I mean, the prosecutor's office said, there's proof. Here's a prior conviction for this, and we still just let them go. So it made me think, and I already believe this, but I want to dig in. We really have to pay attention to who we are electing at the state level, judges, all of it.
County level.
And I know one of the reasons we don't mention the judges because of safety, and that makes a lot of sense. At the same time, I want to know how the judges who have been serving, what is your ruling record? What is the record like? What do you because our values may not be aligned. I do expect you to, abide by the law, but there is wiggle room. Judges have wiggle room and discretion depending on what the situation is. And this is just
It's hard to even fathom. Like, how now are we talking about someone who has a 17th warrant out for their arrest? And again, you can say, well, looking at this case, it was $1,000 worth of copper wire. But look at it in its totality. Like, what impact does it have? And it turns out this particular person is homeless, is also drug addicted. Charlie pointed out that his address is not an actual address. And again, this is not to demonize a certain population, but you got to look at the facts for the facts. In this particular case, this is someone who absolutely should have been, if there was a way to hold him, to have a chance of keeping him accountable. But the other thing that's so frustrating is, yeah, we have a hot market for stolen copper wire. And why isn't there? Why wasn't something done yesterday to address that? Mm-hmm. Like, why is that still allowed to flourish?
I know. I wonder, should the punishment be that we send you the bill? Because we're the ones paying for it. That's what blows my mind is these folks are making decisions, and it's other people who are paying for the consequences of their decisions.
It's interesting that you bring up the copper wire thing, and how the resellers are able to, say, hey, look, we don't know where it came from. We were just having a conversation yesterday about Facebook Marketplace when you two were not here.
Yeah.
And how do you really know the provenance of the goods that you buy on Facebook Marketplace? I was talking about a screaming deal I got on, 2 paddle boards off of Facebook Marketplace. And, people were on the text line saying, hey, you probably bought stolen goods,
stuff.
right?
And
I mean, what
I think
level of
that's part
responsibility do we have? Like, do you guys use Marketplace?
I don't, but am
I've
I
used
looking?
it.
Yeah, but I know that it's a place where you can get good deals. I mean, I use other, with my passion project that I tell you about, my perfumes. There's a big scammer market there too. I mean, you can buy fakes.
I think you have to have, like anything, you have to have a process. I actually like the Facebook because I'm able to go see who the user is. And if I see that you just created this account, you haven't posted in a while, I'm looking to see, do you look like a person that's been on Facebook for the past 10 years and there's a record of you and your puppy and you and your kids or you and your... And so I only deal with people that have those kind of profiles. So we sold a car on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, really?
Smooth as can be. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sold a car, came, picked it up. I mean, you still take precautions like, you meet at this address versus your home address because you never know. So I like that Facebook tracks you to a profile.
But to Chef's point, to your point, it's true. It's like if you know it is too good to be true and you have... You're pretty sure that it's stolen. Are you still going to buy it?
That is the complete, absolutely.
Because we're part of the issue with
You're
this cycle.
part of the problem.
Yes.
If you know that this kind of thing it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
It doesn't add up. Absolutely.
Yes. The other part would be they need to pass legislation to address it from the marketplace, those who are buying this. And also, again, know that it's stolen.
That's the thing I feel like we haven't done. There are stores that even the police know they can go and find stolen merchandise. And yet I'm like, why are they still operating? I mean,
yes.
What can you prove?
Well,
they are able to prove it. It's just that you get to the court level and everyone gets a slap on the wrist if.
So you said, what can you prove? Well, you can ask.
Can you prove that somebody knew that it was stolen when they purchased it?
It's
that's hard to do.
Okay, I know.
If I'm a store someone comes up with a bike, how am I supposed to know that they stole?
Except when they become a constant.
Can you show me where you purchased it? I mean, can you show me a receipt for where you purchased this? At least give the story.
But when we're talking about
some of these places
metal,
are repeated violators. So it's one thing for it to happen once, but if this is like the fifth, I didn't know. Come on.
Okay, Greg in Las Vegas says, in reference to stolen e-bikes, bike shops will not work on a bike if you cannot show proof of purchase. Okay, they're doing something. That's something. And then you mentioned that we cannot say the name of judges. We have said the name of judges. What needs to not happen is that you now threaten judges because you don't like. The threat needs to be you don't vote for certain judges.
Yes.
We name prosecutors all the time. Why not judges?
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying we can't name. I'm saying that I think people are cautious about it. I think when people are reporting, they're cautious because there sometimes is a fear of what it might incite in some people who are unstable or have evil intent.
Yes.
But in general, that's part of the job, too.
I mean, it is part of the job because, again, who are we holding accountable for this constant cycle of what we're dealing with? And then other people are bringing up, this is someone who is drug addicted and homeless. And that is also an issue that needs to be addressed. I mean, what has happened in the particular case of this person? I don't know. But clearly, his homelessness and drug addiction has now led to criminal activity. And that needs to stop.
And that's the part that this is common sense in my head. So I don't know why it doesn't seem to register with those making the decisions. But if you think this is the only thing that some of these people are doing, I've got some snake oil to sell you. Like small things turn to big things, and wire for a lot of these folks, it's not the only thing they're up to. It just isn't.
Okay, I wanted to bring up, we were talking about homelessness.
Yes.
I know there was something that you looked into.
Yeah, let me pull that up. So there was this new report out of Clark County, and it really shed light on what drives people to be homeless. You know, we talk about addiction and we talk about job loss and rentals and some of the fees. In this case, it said the biggest reason for Clark County was the cost of housing. So the Council for the Homeless said about 4,500 people became homeless for the first time last year. 4,500. And 8,200 people experienced homelessness at some point during that year. What's really concerning is they highlighted how many children are affected by this. 2,300 were children, and get this, 800 of them under the age of 5. 800 under the age of 5 dealing with homelessness.
That's heartbreaking.
Right?
That's tough.
And here's the part. A lot of these people in Clark County have jobs. And they have jobs, and basically the cost of housing is just more than what they are making. And I thought it was interesting because this article pointed out a report from MIT, the living wage calculator, and it said that an individual without children needs like $26 an hour to cover basic necessities like food, rent, and healthcare. And so if you can imagine, if you're a single parent with 2 kids, it can go to about $60 an hour. And listen, the math isn't mathing for a lot of people. I keep wondering, how are people doing it, especially if you're in a job where you have to drive and the cost is so significant. Here was the other piece that surprised me, and looking at it now, it shouldn't have. But it said the second biggest driver of homelessness was domestic violence. Yep, and I looked into it, and apparently nationally, domestic violence is the number one cause of homelessness.
Really?
Yes, I didn't know that. People not having anywhere to go. And this article highlighted someone who said a woman called her and she felt like her husband was going to kill her that night, but nowhere, like the shelters either closed or full or.
Boy, okay, domestic violence and homelessness, that combination is not something that we have talked about on this show, or do I hear it talked about on any other program?
Yeah. And this is how big of a deal it is in Clark County. They said that this was between 2002 and 2023, because these reports look back on data. It said the number of people who are homeless due to domestic violence doubled from that time.
Wow.
From like 808 to 1794.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in all of the conversations that we have about homelessness, has anyone ever heard of a policy where, hey, if you are in a domestic violence situation, call this number and we'll hook you up with housing?
No.
There's going to be, we have a county safe house for people who need a week, who need a month. I mean, one of the amazing things that I found about this report, which we don't really get this kind of data, is 4,500 people experience homelessness for the first time, but the actual number of people who are homeless dropped by about like 4%, which means that we're cycling, and 92% of the people who went into housing stayed in that housing, which means we're cycling literally thousands of people. Sorry, engineering. Thousands of people into homelessness and out of homelessness every single year. This revolving door constantly, and the cost of living.
Yeah. Wow.
That's why I have no tolerance for companies that make a ton of money, a profit. I'm not talking about just your revenue, but I'm talking about profit. And they don't pay their employees a wage that allows them to actually live. I have no tolerance for that. I won't support it.
I'm going to bring up one other story. You've heard it in the newscasts. And I guess if you don't wear your seatbelt all the time when you fly, this might encourage you to do so. Did you hear about this passenger?
Oh, my gosh.
On that flight from Greece to Germany?
Yes.
Who was partially sucked out of his seat. Apparently, a cabin window next to him shattered right after takeoff. So another passenger was saying there was this loud bang. Oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling, and the man's head and shoulders were pulled outside the aircraft. And she says he was saved because he was wearing his seatbelt while nearby passengers pulled him back inside. This was a Boeing 737. It was a Ryanair jet, and thankfully it turned around and landed safely back in Greece.
We've had a few of these situations. Do you remember there was a woman who was sucked out and died? I don't remember what airline that was or what year, but you do remember it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And ever since then, that freaked me out so bad. Unless it's a red eye, I'm in the aisle seat.
Yes.
I am traumatized from that visual.
Yeah,
and then
you don't want to be close to the window. I mean, I'd pick an aisle seat for different reasons, but new fear unlocked. The idea of someone having to, thank God for the people who are pulling it back in.
Yeah, here it is. This was 2018. A woman was partially sucked out of a window on a Southwest flight. The jet suffered some engine failure, had to make an emergency landing. Oh, it was in the U.S. Okay.
Well, there was someone on a Alaska flight, yes, who almost got sucked out. I mean,
I do not remember this stuff happening 20 years ago. Like, that whole idea of someone being sucked out of a plane was new to me.
The chances of it happening are still extremely rare, but it's those stories like this. I'm like, yeah, I'm keeping my seatbelt on. Same with when you hit turbulence. I mean, how many times do you have to be told keep your seatbelt on?
But has it kept you from window seats? Or because those used to be my favorite. I loved window seats. And now they freak me. And now I'm freaked out. I am freaked out. For years that music y'all have, the hell to the no.
Yeah, hell to the no.
That's me in the aisle.
Yes. Well, thankfully it worked out, but scary story for sure. Okay, we agree to disagree coming up next. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Reutin from the Gee and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the Gee and Ursula YouTube channel.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
50 seasons, 50 legends, one unforgettable night. Join the Mariners Saturday, August 8th for 50 season celebration night at T-Mobile Park, presented by Daktronics.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Before the team takes on the Rays, arrive early for the most epic pregame ceremony in Mariners history. You'll witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. From Griffey to the Big Unit, from Ichiro to Nelson Cruz, and every legend in between, you don't want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Junior with a 2-run home run. Everybody is going bonkers here in the Kingdom.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Wow, Sarah, these window coverings are gorgeous. Did you guys do this yourself?
No way, it's all Hunter Douglas. My local expert came to our home, brought samples, and helped us see everything in our actual light, then measured perfectly and handled the installation.
If you're planning a remodel, moving into a new home, or simply ready to elevate how your space feels, Westco Blinds, your neighborhood Hunter Douglas expert, offers custom, beautifully crafted window treatments thoughtfully designed for life. Whether it's blinds, shades, shutters, or drapes, our products fit your windows perfectly. And with smart home options, you control the light and privacy with a tap or on schedule. Hunter Douglas window treatments are an investment in quality, backed by a lifetime limited warranty and ongoing support from your trusted local expert, Westco Blinds. Call now to schedule your free in-home design consultation. Call 206-285-5455, 206-285-5455, 206-285-5455.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-List member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A terrifying mid-air emergency over Greece after a passenger window on board a Boeing 737 shattered shortly after takeoff. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey says one passenger was almost sucked out of the window. Luckily, they had their seatbelt fastened.
A window on board the Ryanair 737 smashed by debris after reported engine failure. A Serbian man, his head and shoulders sucked through the window at 20,000 feet going 450 miles per hour, saved by his seatbelt and fellow passengers clinging to his legs. It all comes on the heels of two fatal 737 MAX crashes and a door plug blowout on a flight 2 years ago, and Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg testifying about safety improvements to a Senate committee.
We're seeing very good improvement in the overall quality of the fuselages.
The pilots were able to land safely. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The family of a teenager who died on a boating trip with friends is demanding answers. Nolan Wells disappeared after a 4th of July weekend outing. His body was found in the water just days later. The mother of one of Wells' friends said he stayed behind when the boat took on water, but his friends also took his phone, and a video that was recovered appears to show some sort of struggle. A Nolan Wells family wants authorities to dig deeper into what happened that night. Meanwhile, ABC's Perry Russum says some celebrities are trying to help Wells' family.
Tyler Perry, who wants to cover the funeral expenses, Reverend Al Sharpton, who was there today, will be presiding over the services in Mississippi, as well as Colin Kaepernick, who will be paying for this independent autopsy to be done, not in Mississippi, but in Washington, D.C. This family has a lot of distrust with law enforcement and people tied to law enforcement in Mississippi, so they're moving his body to Washington, D.C. for this independent autopsy to be done.
If you've walked on the Ballard waterfront, you've probably seen it. A 112-foot rusty graffiti-covered boat called the Albert. It's been illegally parked at a public pier since 2019. The Seattle Times reports a judge ruled Monday that it is a public nuisance and has to go by July 30th. The owner, a man in Colorado, now owes the city more than $185,000 in fines. At one point in 2023, the boat actually started sinking, and the Coast Guard had to step in. If the owner doesn't remove it, Seattle can tear it down or sell it. Now we're going to check your KIRO News Radio traffic. Lori has your commute info.
Southbound I-5 at M Street, we had a collision taking up 2 center lanes. That just cleared. We're just seeing a 1-minute delay. Northbound 405 slows through Bothell, and then again, southbound 405 heavy through the S-curves, Renton to Bellevue now 27 minutes. 509 closed between Taylor Way and North Point Way. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Morning clouds give way to a little bit more sun this afternoon and a high of 74. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, but mostly sunny by Sunday and a high of 75. 69 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you, Jillian, for your anchoring today. Always appreciate you when you come in. Angela Poe Russell is in for G today, and it is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
I'm going to ask you about when it's okay to accept a check from a family member. I actually love this calling from Asking Eric. A few years ago, my 24-year-old child came out as non-binary, chose a new name, Avery. Well, the adjustment hasn't been easy. Most of our immediate family now uses Avery's new name and pronouns, except for my husband's parents, especially my father-in-law, who does not accept Avery's identity and has criticized them about it in phone calls and texts. And as a result, they're estranged. But Avery's turning 25 in a few weeks, and my father-in-law has a tradition of giving each grandchild $10,000 on that birthday. Okay. All right. So during this conversation with my husband, we asked Avery if he would like to accept the money, and they are up in the air about whether they should accept $10,000 from a grandfather who doesn't accept them for who they are. Angela,
I know. Chef, right before the break, I'm going to pull back the curtain here for a second, okay? Because sometimes we know what's coming on Agree to Disagree, but more often than not that we don't. And Chef, during the break, said, I'm going to ask you about whether we should even have bail, or should bail even exist. I was like, I need to do a little more research before I make a... This one is one of those.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch it up. Can you accept money from somebody who doesn't accept you?
Yeah. So, and this is the young man. Sorry. It is Avery's choice. This is Avery's choice.
Yes.
Okay. I typically have the mantra that all money ain't good money, right? You want to be mindful of, you don't have to take money from everybody. In this case, it is a family tradition. And if the grandparents still want to give that money, I think Avery should take it and not feel any, because the fact that they still, and if there are no strings attached, if there were strings attached where they put some kind of condition around it, then no. But if this is just a gift because you're our grandchild, I'd take the money.
I think that's a great answer. I will say that it's up to Avery.
Yeah.
And if Avery feels okay, I mean, like what 25-year-old is going to say no to $10,000? I mean, we talk about how difficult it is right now. This is a family tradition, et cetera, et cetera. But as you said, if it comes with conditions, or if it beyond the hurt of a grandfather who doesn't accept you for who you are. And I would also understand if Avery said, you know what, I don't want to take that money, which would also cause a rift. But there's already tension there. And
take it and run.
Yeah. I mean, I would say take the money.
Yeah. And you can, and
Grandpa
Avery
can
can
evolve.
And Avery can donate to the Trevor Project,
Yes.
you know,
Great.
so, or donate a little bit of it. And that's great.
You got to take off the gloves.
I'm going to play that again because they hit the wrong sounder. Okay, have you heard about... I've actually not brought this up for multiple times because I found the entire idea so ludicrous. But a growing number of kids, younger people, use their parents for assistance when applying to jobs and even interviewing. Over in the UK, there's a Warrington bar owner. His name's Owen Williams. He owns the Tank Bar Live Lounge. He's pledged that he will automatically reject parent-submitted applications to ensure that young people are taking direct ownership of their responsibilities in their career. So, Angela, what a lot of parents do is, hey, Timmy needs a summer job, so I'm submitting resumes on behalf of Timmy. And this bar has said, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to look at an application that's been submitted by a parent. If you are a business owner, what is your response to receiving an application that's been filled out by mom or dad?
How do they even know? Like,
please find attached my child's resume.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And I would say send your child in if they would like to apply. This is like, stop it, y'all.
But don't mom and dad help with the college application already?
They still own the application process. And like my daughter will send me her essays and say, hey, can you take a look at it? But I'm not submitting and filling out the application. I'm not writing. Like,
you don't think parents do that?
I think some do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think some do. I mean, there's a difference between helping and someone doing. I think that when it comes to applying for a job, there's a deeper issue if you're having to apply for the job for the child. That is a deeper issue. That says to me that your child isn't motivated.
Well, that also says you are way too attached. You are way too much of a helicopter parent. You are stunting your child's growth. You are not doing them, you're doing them a disservice if you are applying for their jobs. If I am an employer, yeah, there are things that you can see if it doesn't, especially if you bring someone in for an interview.
Yeah.
And the interview is like, this person who is presenting in front of me right now is not the same person that I saw on the application. Someone clearly worked on this application. I am absolutely not going to hire that person.
We're talking about jobs of people who wipe down tables with dish rags,
and
right? And
even
dishwashing.
So.
Parents who just want to keep their kids busy. Hey, Johnny, you need to have a summer job.
How you do anything is how you do everything. The kid, the so-called kid who is supposed to be working should have skin in the game. They need to be the one applying.
Let me ask you, though, if your child legitimately refuses to work, they refuse to, say, get a summer job, are you filling out resumes for them, or are you, taking away their cell phone?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I'm depriving them of
It's
something.
funny. I know there's some experience with this. And
do tell.
And so you have to kind of amp up the pressure. So lack of access to car, lack of access to certain things. You know, you have to make it uncomfortable enough to motivate. You know, constantly knocking on that door, 8 a.m., you know. Yeah.
And also explain why it is that it's going to be a disservice if I do your application for you. Remember when our kids were in kindergarten, and I'll out myself here, where you had that big fat group project where everybody has to see you have the displays, and you could tell every last parent was doing their kid's project. And the ones that really stood out were the ones that where the kid actually did the project because they actually looked like 5 or 6 year olds doing a project. Otherwise, it looked like engineering marvels that parents put together for the displays.
Let me ask you guys.
That's different. I mean, and don't think that the teachers didn't know parents were involved with those projects, right? And we're actually doing the work.
Mom and dad helped, right? We're helping. Are you shocked that parents would submit resumes? They'd submit applications?
Yeah, at some point you've got to let your kid do their own thing and learn. And that's where I think you can have that conversation. The reason I'm not submitting this for you is because you need to do this on your own. I'm not going to be here forever. Sadly.
I know, right? That's another conversation.
That's
We're
another
like,
convo.
oh my gosh, I'm happy.
How many people have kids in their late 20s or 30s who are still on the family cell phone plan?
Yeah.
You know?
Depends on the situation.
But
there are a lot of
there's-
people
there
that
are
have
benefits.
That. Are you still on your parents' plan?
Oh my God, no. I
That's
live
very
with
common.
my parents. Of course I'm not on their cell phone plan. That would be far beneath me.
But you're working. You're
Oh,
working.
my goodness.
I just realized that went really poorly.
That was so Okay, we'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up. We hear you and words to live by.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
I have two big gripes from my coworkers who I thought were friends, but I'm realizing are just a bunch of jerks. I had about 10 conversations with massive amounts of green salad stuff.
Oh, no. Nobody told you?
In my teeth. I'm a common man. I like having conversations.
I didn't bother to tell
Why
you.
didn't they just say something? I wouldn't take it as an insult.
Jake and Spike, noon to 3 on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, John, why don't you tell everybody why you started going to Longevity
No, I
Medical
don't want to
Clinic?
do that. I can tell you, I started going to Longevity Medical Clinic before I started doing these commercials, but that why I went is not important.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. I'll tell you. I was a Sammamish City Council member, and whenever they had asked me to do the Pledge of Allegiance, I couldn't make it through the whole thing without crying. I know, it's so dumb. I mean, I know I'm patriotic, but what the heck? So I go into Longevity Medical Clinic, and I explained this to them, that there's something wrong with my hormones or something, and they see the testosterone and the estrogen are all out of balance. We balance all that stuff, and I can do the Pledge of Allegiance without crying. But I've also noticed that I deal with stress a lot better, don't I?
Yes, you're a lot easier to live with
Yes.
because you're getting more sleep, you have more energy, you're better organized, and I'm not helping you look for your car keys every morning.
Right, because now I've taken the steps to take care of my mind and body. I strongly recommend anybody get the free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about summertime.
Bikinis, the occasional Speedo, sunshine, and almost always more drinking. But don't let the wine coolers or hard lemonades fool you. Too many drinks at the beach can get you in a whole lot of trouble. You're sporting a farmer's tan, but the police are wearing heavy, dark uniforms. And it's not because they're comfortable. If you don't take preventative measures, your summer tan can become a costly burn. Take a designated driver with that aloe vera and SPF 50. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up a free private consultation. Jail is no place to ask, missed a spot? Mind getting where I can't reach? Be reasonable this summer. And always remember, 1-800-DUI-AWAY has your back.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
And just like that, we are done with the Friday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell has been in. You've been doing a fantastic job. And I want you to start off with our text messages.
Let me turn my mic on, and let's get to the text messages. Okay, this is on mom and dad filling out the job applications. B in Puyallup, I've had a mom show up with her 19-year-old for an interview. She was trying to participate, speaking for her grown child. I immediately dismissed them.
Can you imagine? Like, in what universe did you think that was going to help?
B said she was trying to dictate what hours her child could work. Nothing before noon and nothing after 6 and no weekends.
That sounds like a nightmare. And Chef was saying, do you think this happens? And Mike in Portland says, I have seen parents sit in on virtual interviews with internship candidates. Again, the fastest way to torpedo your adult child's way to get a job is to be there micromanaging.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
my word.
I'm feeling pretty good because I thought I was a helicopter parent, and I am not. So anyone who ever says it, I'm just going to point to these texts. All right. So we were talking about We were talking about the light rail snafu, a broken wire causing this outage. Mark in Nisqually says our after-school care program had 25 elementary-age children going down to the aquarium. The main teacher was just tired. She's from a small town in Oregon. This rail closure put the monkey wrench in the plans of a half-day aquarium trip turned into a full day. How do we get back to school? There were 25 kids with 5 chaperones. The hardest part was the main teacher doesn't know Seattle since she just moved here, and it was her first time on Link Light Rail. Tough day.
Oh, man. Okay, I was just thinking, though, again, thank God this happened this week and not last week.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Diane in Seattle says the speaker system on light rail is horrible. It sounds like grown-ups speaking in a Peanuts cartoon. There should be written messages on their system. The screens are existing on the cars. I've seen other subway train systems where the speaker systems are legible, but Sound Transit has never figured out communication. I think that's a big issue.
An opportunity for growth.
Yes.
Okay, this is related to Charlie Harger's commentary on this prolific copper wire thief that was released with no bail. Chris in Port Orchard, people should not be charged based on only the value of the copper they steal, but on the entire value of the repairs. And these judges should also be responsible if they release someone and further crimes happen.
We were asking, do you care who actually owns the Seahawks? And we got a couple of people saying, yeah, I care. Remember Ken Behring? And then Bill in Lake Stevens says, well, look what happened to the Mariners. Investment dude who couldn't care less. Look how many years the Mariners have been bad.
Yeah. Okay, well, Flex Friday, that was fun. Jay and Lacey, my flex for Flex Fridays, and I'm on month 5 of keto diet, and I've officially dropped 85 pounds.
Jay and Lacey, 85 pounds. I don't need to tell you, but I just want to share with everybody. I mean, I've lost 40 pounds a couple of times, but no, not, I mean, recently I've lost 10.
Okay.
I'm saying when you lose 85 pounds, that is life-changing.
That's huge.
That is just such an accomplishment. On the Chelan fire, Nikki says, it is so frustrating that it always stems from fireworks and no one takes accountability for their negligence, nor they even care because they feel so entitled.
I loved your Ask Ursula on someone who was concerned that her friends weren't liking or commenting on her Facebook posts. And Rick and Kent, I feel the same way. In fact, I've been ghosted without an explanation.
B in Puyallup says they should delete their social media.
Because they care so much.
I know.
Because they care so much. All right, Rob and Puyallup, you aren't owed online social interaction. The algorithm doesn't show me all my friends' posts. Even the show page sometimes pops up days after Sometimes the show page pops up days after something has been posted.
And Rob, it's true. And that's another thing that I suggested. And I didn't use the word algorithm, but you can't assume that it's something sinister if someone's not reacting to your post, because it could be they just didn't see it.
And that's completely plausible. Yep.
Okay, snubbing our kids and our partners with phones. Anonymous in Conway said, my husband is so bad about this. We've gone out to dinner with my daughter and grandkids, and my husband will pull out his phone as soon as he's done eating. We've paid, we've said thank you to the server, we've gotten up and walked to the door, and we've left him sitting there. Sorry. It is a long-standing source of frustration for me. I'll sit in the restaurant and just stare at him until he looks up. He spent most of the time on our first cruise to Alaska in the room looking at his phone.
This is so sad because it's addiction.
It is
addiction. The only thing that could make you like miss out on going out of your room in Alaska, it's addiction, and it's sad. I'm sorry.
And I know we probably. I'm going to start looking into it. Is there some kind of help? I mean, it's like, do you treat it like any other addiction?
Yeah, there's a clinic on the east side that deals especially with phone and video game addiction.
Oh, what if we had someone, an expert on to talk about what we can do?
Absolutely.
Ursula's words to live by.
The greatest gifts that you can give your children are the roots of responsibility and the wings of independence. That is a quote from Dennis Waitley.
That gave me chills. The wings of independence because they can fly.
Yes, those are gifts.
Nick, your wise words.
Well, how much do you care about those social media likes? From your family and friends to strangers named Sophie and Mike. Are you shrugging off ideas of no comments from what they've seen, or becoming anxious without the attention from the screen? And maybe if you're young, it might get to you more with ease, but I don't want parents following their suit to feel the squeeze. You can be a helicopter parent all you want if that's your style, but at least keep it to the classroom projects instead of the Facebook and TikTok posts, please.
So true.
Yes. I was telling my daughter about Nick's, I don't know what you call them. I'm like, they're like poems.
It's like a wrap-up.
Poetic wrap-up.
I was trying to tell her like what it was, so I think she's going to have to just
And imagine he has to do it while, again, running the board, keeping everything on the air, and also trying to wrap up an entire show.
Yes, it's pretty
in
amazing.
Rhyme.
It's pretty,
yes.
it's about, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Y'all, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. Jake and Spike are coming up next.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Hey, it's G. Scott. Let's talk real for a sec. Summer is supposed to be about sunshine and kids having fun. But when the kids are home all day, that grocery bill, it grow fast. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you can receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer, food in your cart, and a little less pressure on that budget. And let me be clear about this. There's no catch, no judgment. This program is simply about making sure kids have enough to eat when school is out. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may already be headed to your mailbox. But some families do need to apply depending on income and where you live. So take a couple minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for your family this summer. Once again, that's freesummermeals.org.
Holy smokes! The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Hi, I'm Marla at Sky Nursery with a heads up that gardening in July has its challenges. Seattle summer drought can cause plants to droop in just a matter of hours, and rabbits and aphids can get a little out of hand in your garden, especially if you have any travel plans this summer. That's where an experienced Sky gardener can make a difference with down-to-earth and sustainable solutions to all manner of gardening quagmires. After all, you deserve to enjoy a beautiful, thriving summer garden without having to learn the hard way first. We can help. Head to skynursery.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Don't miss the Mariners' 50-season celebration night, August 8th, presented by Daktronics. Witness the most iconic gathering of Mariners greats in franchise history as the top 50 players are unveiled at T-Mobile Park. Get your tickets at mariners.com. It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online